Chemistry of KJ Somaya College of Science and Commerce since past 33 years, and myself, along with my principal, Dr. Pradnya Prabhu, on behalf of her and myself, I would like to welcome you all for today's seminar topics, who will be delivered soon. We are just going to take, I told the speakers that we are not going to talk much. It is their platform today. However, I would definitely like to welcome all the participants, both the speakers, Dr. Shilpa Joshi ma'am, who will be talking on diet in various metabolism or metabolic disorders, and Nazneen Hussain ma'am, who will be talking on nutrition and fitness. Both the topics are very, very important. I would like to just brief you about our department and our activities. Biochemistry, all of you, you know that it is related to human health. It is a medical subject, medical topic. One of the paper in medicine that the doctors, first year MBBS students study biochemistry. So biochemistry deals with human health. And since it deals with human health, we also study in this subject, human health, nutrition, about fitness. And in this 33 years, when I joined in Somaya in 1990, 33 years back, 32 to 33 years back, I realized I was given this topic to teach by my head that time. And I realized that there is a lot of unawareness about nutrition and diet in India, although we have a very rich heritage. And then I decided that we have to do something apart from just teaching. I cannot reach to the masses. Then I was constantly thinking as to how I can reach the masses. And then I realized that, yes, I have my students with me, and my students can be my ambassadors so that they can take up this knowledge to the masses. And then I started in somewhere in 1994 or something, and we started conducting this series of talks from the nutritional experts, from the doctors, from the physician. And we started doing this nutritional awareness program, health festivals, Swasthya Mahotsav, and so many things. And we were getting lot of response from our students, their parents. And this pandemic, now we have got the chance to go online so that we can still connect to masses. So there is a good part in everything. So this pandemic has taught us a lot. It has also, apart from the sad part, I usually believe in seeing the positive part. So let us see positive part of it, that this pandemic has taught us where to concentrate, where we are lacking. Okay, and this is, I think this is the time where we can focus on our nutrition and well-being, because I have seen the medical fraternity itself is under a lot of stress. So why don't we take care of ourselves by making us aware of certain nutritional facts, so that we can help the doctors by keeping us fit, ourselves as well as our families, our neighborhood. So this is our way of contributing to the society, and why not do it? So let us get aware of all these things, and please be connected, because we are going to get many such talks from the experts in future also. And since you have registered, we have got your registration details, and we will be definitely connecting with you in future, and we will be coming. Even the internationally, I'm trying to contact people so that in future we will be coming up with all these activities for you. And I welcome all of you on behalf of KJ Somaya College of Science and Commerce. Last but not least, let me welcome, and I'm actually thankful to Dr. Shubha Prada Nishtala. She is the president of, Dr. Hina will formally introduce her, but she is the president of AFSTI, that is Association of Food Scientists and Technologists of India, Mumbai chapter. Ma'am, I'm really thankful to you because you have accepted to be our guest of honor in a very short notice. Actually, I was talking to Nilesh Lele, and he was busy with some thing in his family. So he said, "Ki ma'am, now Shubha is the president. So, ma'am, I'm really thankful to you for the accepting our invitation." And I welcome you with full, a warm welcome to you, to our Somaya family. And I would definitely like to be associated with you in future, so that together we can get a lot of things for our students, their parents, because I have got a lot of response from the parents also this year, and hence even they are invited. There are a lot of students who are in abroad and they are connecting with us. So this is the way I think we can spread our network. So let us come together. Ma'am, I welcome you. I welcome both my speakers, and I welcome all my students and my staff and my ex-staff. There are some people, some of our staff members who are retired. They told us that I will join. So I welcome all those who are joining from India and even abroad. Let us make it the I one of the sentence that draw my attention in the prayer, that may all be well. And I think that is our aim today, that let us be well. And to be well, I think we have to join hands together. We can share our knowledge, we can share our cultural heritage. India has a very rich cultural heritage as far as nutrition and dietetics is concerned, and even the same must be in abroad. So let us share everything so that everybody should be well, and all the families, let them enjoy peace and happiness. I wish all the good for everyone, each and every one of you, those who have joined, those who have not joined also. And thank you so much for coming. Welcome to you all. Thank you, ma'am, for coming. And I welcome you too. Thank you so much. God bless you all.
Hina ma'am, you're on mute.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now I call upon our guest of honor for this event, Dr. Shubhaprada Nishtala, ma'am. With a brief introduction. So, Dr. Shubhaprada is a senior executive with over 22 years of experience in quality operations in food processing industry, such as Coca-Cola India, Alkabir Exports, etc. She currently leads the IFSCAN, the training center jointly set up by FSSAI and EIC as a director in charge. She is a proud alumnus of CFTRI Mysore. She has got a rich experience of auditing, training, frontline factory operations, quality assurance, compliance. As an academician, she is a visiting faculty. She is a auditor of a magazine or a scientific journal and all. So, and currently she is a president of AFSTI Mumbai chapter. With this brief introduction, please accept my warm welcome, and ma'am, please take over the charge and brief to our audience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hina, for that warm welcome. Thank you, Dr. Pavaskar. Somaya bulaye and we are not there. Aisa to hoga nahi.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
AFST has been, I think, working with, partnering, participating in Somaya events for very many years now. And we are always delighted to see the variety of programs that you come up with to enrich your students. It's something that as AFST, as an individual, I have great respect for. Hi to Shilpa and Nazneen, to good friends and highly as people I respect very highly. I find it a little odd that I'm here as guest of honor in a month and a week, which is a nutritionist special. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm a food technologist by training, but nevertheless delighted to be here. I will be speaking. I thought, kya bolu main? I have two very, very knowledgeable speakers to follow. But knowing that it's such an extensive group of students, parents from various locations. First of all, congratulations to Somaya on managing to connect with such a wide set of people and set up a webinar on a topic of great importance, both personally and definitely from an economic point for the nation as well. If our disease burden comes down, I think that would do wonders to our economy, something that we all need to be cognizant of. I will not speak about nutrition. That would not be appropriate. I will instead spend the few minutes, as Pavaskar ma'am said. Intent is not to keep you away from the speakers for today, but in my capacity, both as president for AFST Mumbai chapter and also the director in charge for ITCF SAN, I thought I would share some activities that the regulator, Food Safety and Standards Authority, is doing, and other opportunities that you may have as students. September month is a month of great excitement and activity and opportunity for students to participate in numerous programs that happen. All the associations, all the responsible bodies, various industries do conduct numerous competitions specifically for students to try and improve the outreach. We have moved from a week of nutrition to a month of nutrition. It's Poshan Ma that we are talking about now. And it's, I think, credible that for the very first time, when the government of India this year has included topics such as yoga and Ayush as part of nutrition, recognizing that it is a very holistic approach. Even Pavaskar ma'am spoke about it, that these things go hand in hand. Our physical well-being depends both on what we eat, how and when we eat it, and the ability of our bodies to have the correct amount of physical activity that is needed to ensure that there is both mental and physical well-being. So with that, very clear direction, both from the regulator, from various government bodies, I would just like to share that the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India has a very extensive program called Eat Right India. And it is, a program that all students can participate in through various associations that you may be part of. It could be the IDA, it could be the NSI. You could directly register yourself on the Food Safety and Standards Eat Right initiative. They have a website where they look for educated people in the nutrition, in the science, food science space to come forward and share their knowledge for an outreach with general society. I'm happy to be that connect point. If any of you are interested, you can connect with me. Nazneen ma'am is the deputy chairperson for Netprofan Maharashtra. She does a lot of work around this as well. On her behalf, also I'm offering. It is, I think, a very good opportunity for all students to participate in educating general society. We see a lot of misinformation around food. I always say that food and cricket, these are two things in which every Indian is born an expert. हर कोई किसी का टिप्पणी होता है कि ये सही है वो गलत है, without having access to the correct information or without reaching out to professionals to validate that data. Unfortunately, WhatsApp, with its very many benefits, also serves as a source of misinformation. I would request each and every one of you, whenever you come across a forward like that, I know you won't forward it, but don't ignore it either. Reach out to your teachers, to your network, get the correct information and send back the correct information to the people so that we create an alternate channel of accurate information sharing that happens. Case in point is the extensive use of vitamin D and zinc supplements during the pandemic. Without medical advice, I'm not sure that's something that was called for. And we are not really, at least I'm not qualified to talk about what could be their long-term impacts. So request number one was be part of FSSAI's Eat Right initiative. It's a wonderful learning for all of us to participate, to go to schools, to go to other colleges, to go to places of worship, to go to corporates and give them basic information about nutrition, about food safety. Request 2, please nip misinformation on wrong practices in food science and nutrition in the bud by replying with accurate information to any forwards that you have. And finally, the last 1 minute I will take is to tell you about some competitions that AFST is having. We are having 2 competitions which might be of interest to students. One is a 1-minute reel competition where the format is creation of an Instagram reel. You need to prepare a reel on the benefits of plant proteins and share it on your Instagram. I will share the details with Dr. Hina. I'm sure she can share it with you. You can also get all the updates on AFST Mumbai's Instagram handle. It promises to be a very interesting competition. So I look forward to you all participating in that. We also have a debate which will be on the benefits of traditional Indian pulses as a source of protein in our diet and how effective they can be. Again, details will be on our Mumbai Instagram, FST Mumbai Instagram. The other set of competitions is through ITCF-SAN, the International Training Center Food Safety and Applied Nutrition. And this, though not related to Nutrition Month, is part of our 2nd anniversary celebration. We are having a competition of 4,000-word essay on the topic of innovations in food safety, and a poster competition on traditional nutrition of India. Both of these, if you participate, the top 3 will be awarded certificates directly by Chairperson FSSAI on 28th September when Madam is here to be part of our anniversary celebration. So again, a very good opportunity in that you could connect and receive certificates from 2 regulatory authorities of India, Food Safety and Standards and Export Inspection Council. This is the month where you can maximize your extracurricular, co-curricular activity, get your certifications and have fun while doing that. So with that, I leave you with just my very best wishes for the seminar. I'm always accessible. Should you have any questions related to FSSAI's activities or ITCF-SAN activities, I'm happy to connect on that. Thank you. Thank you so much. And back to you, Dr. Hina.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you for your valuable time and insight. Now, without delaying further, coming to the main agenda of today's webinar, I request my colleague, Mrs. Saima Khan, to introduce our first speaker of the day, Dr. Shilpa Joshi, Vice President, IDA.
Thank you, Hina.
Saima, ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you, Hina, madam. It's my pleasure to formally introduce our first speaker for the day. Her name is Dr. Shilpa Joshi. She is a director at Mumbai Diet and Health Center. She is a vice president at the Indian Dietetics Association. She is associated with the All India Association of Advancing Research in Obesity as an honorary secretary. She has worked a lot in the field of educating people about the diabetes, presented various national and international papers at the national and international conferences. She has been awarded a prestigious 3 award by the Federation of Obstetrics and Gynecologists Society of India. That's a very short introduction of the madam. Madam, thank you so much for accepting our invitation, and we welcome you. Over to you, Madam Shilpa.
Thank you so much for the kind words of introduction, Saima. And thank you so much for inviting me here, Dr. Pavaskar. I will be speaking on nutrition as therapy in metabolic diseases. Can you see my slides?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was told that I have to speak in English, thoda Hindi, thoda English, and I'm happy to do so. If you feel that it's going to too much in English, please let me know and I will change the way I talk. So आप सभी जानते हैं कि न्यूट्रिशन या सही खाना या आहार ये कोई भी मेटाबॉलिक डिजीज मतलब लाइफस्टाइल डिजीज जो होते हैं जैसे डायबिटीज है, ब्लड प्रेशर है, कार्डियक डिजीज है, इनके लिए इनको मेटाबॉलिक डिजीज कहा जाता है। इनके लिए ये सबसे पहली ट्रीटमेंट है। आप कितनी भी दवाइयां ले ले, जितनी चाहे, अगर जो आपका डाइट सही नहीं है तो वो दवाइयां आप पे काम करती नहीं, या जिस लेवल पे काम करना चाहिए, जितना काम करना चाहिए, इट विल नॉट वर्क एट इट्स प्राइमरी इट्स पीक लेवल। अभी व्हाट इज न्यूट्रिशन, ये मैंने इसीलिए स्लाइड डाला है बिकॉज पता रहना चाहिए, यहाँ बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स बायोकेमिस्ट्री सीख रहे हैं। सो व्हाट इज न्यूट्रिशन फॉर माय बायोकेमिस्ट्री फ्रेंड्स? Nutrition is a biochemical and a physiological process by which organism uses food to support life. And biochemistry is one of my most favorite subjects. I mean, that's the only subject I actually liked while studying nutrition. So you have to understand that everything that you eat, okay, has to go through various biochemical processes, either to generate energy or to get interconverted. So like we know, glucose can be converted to fat. There is gluconeogenesis from protein and fat, so on and so forth. So interconversion or conversion for energy is called as nutrition. Now, ये nutrition की definition. What is a diet? Now, this is very, very interesting. Diet comes from an English word called diete or a Latin word dieta, which means way of living. So, diet का मतलब है way of living, कैसे जीना है। डाइट का खाने से कोई संबंध नहीं है। तो डाइट इज नॉट ओनली व्हाट यू ईट, डाइट इज आल्सो फूड फॉर सोल। या सो इट इज अबाउट व्हाट यू थिंक, व्हाट यू डू। सो योगा में जैसे कहा जाता है आहार, आचार और विचार, दैट इज डाइट। इट इज नॉट ओनली फूड, इट इज आहार, आचार, दैट इज हाउ यू बिहेव, एंड विचार, हाउ व्हाट यू थिंक। नाउ व्हाट इज डाइट चार्ट? Now this is I am putting because ये सबसे ज्यादा डाइटिशियन को पूछा जाता है, डाइट चार्ट। सो डाइट चार्ट इज बेसिकली अ गाइड ऑफ व्हाट यू शुड ईट एंड व्हाट यू शुड नॉट ईट, क्या खाना चाहिए और क्या नहीं खाना चाहिए। अ वाइड रेंज ऑफ डिसऑर्डर इन बॉडी कैन ओरिजिनेट फ्रॉम मेकिंग रॉन्ग फूड चॉइसेस, एंड लाइफस्टाइल डिसऑर्डर्स आर प्राइमरी एग्जांपल ऑफ व्हाट रॉन्ग फूड कैन डू टू यू। So in order to prevent these disorders like diabetes, like obesity, like cardiovascular disease, uric acid, so on and so forth, you can visit a dietitian who can design a diet chart for you. Okay. So diet chart is essentially a food prescription that is designed by a dietitian. जैसे दवाई का prescription डॉक्टर देते हैं, खाने का prescription dietitian देती है। अभी अगर जो आप गूगल करते हैं diet chart, just put in Google 1500 kilocalorie diet chart, look at the amount of results, 4,17,000 results. तो फिर डाइटिशियन की क्या जरूरत है ना? एक गूगल ही है जो सब कुछ सब काम कर देगा। बट इफ यू फॉलो दिस डाइट चार्ट वुड यील्ड रिजल्ट, वर्ल्ड वुड हैव बीन हेल्दियर, राइट? कोई बीमारी ही नहीं होती, इतने सारे डाइट चार्ट मुफ्त में मिल रहे हैं। एवरीबडी हैज अ गूगल, सो एवरीबडी हैज अ डाइट चार्ट, करेक्ट? बट ऐसा होता नहीं है। डाइट चार्ट्स व्हिच आर प्रेजेंट ऑन गूगल आर जेनेरिक, दे आर नॉट टेलर मेड फॉर अ इंडिविजुअल, and hence they are rarely followed or complied to. Most common question asked to a dietitian, you can even talk to Nazneen about it. Most common question asked to any dietitian, even in social gathering, हम लोग शादी में जाते हैं या किसी के बर्थडे पार्टी पे जाते हैं, या तो हमको एक फेसबुक पे भी हम फोटो डालते हैं तो एक ही चीज पूछते हैं, एक डाइट चार्ट दे दो ना मैडम। So it is something that is spoken to about, but remember there is nothing like a diet chart. For best effective nutrition, individualized medical nutrition therapy is very essential. Now with this, I am changing gears and I'm coming to what are various diseases. So this is IDF, that is International Diabetes Federation का 2017 का atlas है, which shows that India has the highest prevalence of diabetes in the whole world. Look at colors of other countries and look at the color of India, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, Bangladesh. We have the highest amount of diabetes in the world. Okay, and this was a study done by ICMR, that is Indian Council of Medical Research, which actually showed that in India, even rich states had very high amount of diabetes, but poorer state had less amount of diabetes, but then they had diabetes. ऐसा नहीं है कि poor states like Jharkhand, etc. will not have diabetes. They also had diabetes. And in India, what was seen that richer you are, more diabetes is that you have. Now, what are the causes that makes us prone to diabetes? Asian Indian phenotype. When you are born in India, you have a certain kind of genetic makeup and phenotypic makeup, which actually predisposes you to diabetes. On top of that, we have very high carbohydrate consumption. We have insulin resistance. Therefore, our blood glucoses are high and there is absorption variation. Okay. Now, this is what Dr. Hina said in her introduction. To eat is a necessity, but to eat intelligently is an art. Yeah, exactly. This is like studying. पढ़ना जरूरी है, but smartly पढ़ना एक art होता है, ताकि कितना भी पढ़े एग्जाम में बहुत अच्छे मार्क्स मिलते हैं. Okay, now this is something that I'm going to tell you. Like I showed you this chart of IDF and prevalence of diabetes, where India had highest amount of diabetes. Look at this chart. This is a global chart where carbohydrates are consumed the most, and India stands among one of the countries with highest carbohydrate consumption. There are few countries which consume more carbohydrate than us, but fortunately or unfortunately, they do not have diabetes as much as us. In India, we have a lot of diabetes. Despite of eating, we eat about 70 to 75% calories coming from carbohydrate. Now, what is a balanced diet? Balanced diet is a diet containing variety of food groups provided in adequate amount of nutrients that are necessary for good health. And these are medical nutrition therapy recommendations given by the American Diabetes Association for prevention and therapy of diabetes. Now, knowing this, what does India eat? This is a study in which I was also a co-author. This is called as the START study, which actually showed what Indians are eating across the country. This was published in British Medical Journal. And here it is shown that all over the country, not only in South India, people generally feel South India mein bahut carbohydrate khate hain. The reason is because South Indians eat rice and idli and dosa and all of that. That's not true. Highest amount of carbohydrate actually is eaten in Central India, which is surprising, right? But in Central India, cereal portioning is very high. And then all through the country, on average, about 67% carbs are eaten, only 12 to 13% proteins are eaten, and about 25 to 30% fats are eaten. So Indian diets are high carbohydrate and high fat diet, and that has been proven. Okay. Now there is something called as a reference diet of Eat Lancet Commission. Okay, so Eat Lancet Commission, Lancet is a very famous journal, and they established a Eat Lancet Commission, which showed how to eat, what is a good method of eating. And they found that average caloric consumption in India is below recommended across all groups except for richest 5% of the population. Okay, then what did they show? Calories from protein source in India is only 6 to 8% compared to 29%, which is recommended in the diets. And what was very disturbing is the imbalance is highest for household having lowest decibel of consumption expenditure. So people who earn less will eat less. But even the richest household in India do not consume adequate amount of fruit, vegetable, and non-cereal proteins in their diet. An average Indian household consumes more calories from processed food than from fruit. तो हमारे इंडिया में सबके घर में नाश्ता होता है. Always. If you go to anybody's house, they are ready to give you a biscuit or a sev chuda or whatever it is. But rarely will you find presence of fruits, raw vegetables in this house. So these are different. So look at this. Darker the color, more is the difference. So look at vegetables. Pura, Uttar Pradesh and the countries are, land around there, you will see where there is so good irrigation. There is so much of production of vegetable, fruits, but people are just not eating. Look at animal source protein. Whole country is in a dark color where people are actually not eating fruits, vegetables, legumes. None of this is eaten by people. Now, what does the data say? Okay, now this is the scientific data, which I think is good for biochemistry students to understand. This is a very, very famous paper from a very famous study, which is taking place up in 18 countries across 5 continents. It is called as the PURE study, Prospective Urban-Rural Epidemiological Study. In this study, they tried to find out association of fat and carbohydrate with cardiovascular disease and mortality. So remember, cardiovascular disease se association hai, but even with mortality, there is an association. What did they find? They found that people who actually ate more fat also had lesser amount of energy, lesser amount of heart attacks as compared to people who actually ate more energy from carbohydrate. So more carbohydrates you eat, more are you likely you are going to die of a cardiovascular event. More fat, especially monounsaturated fat you eat, you see that you are less likely to die of a heart disease. So remember, carbohydrates are really not good, both for major cardiovascular disease and otherwise. So remember, as your percentage of energy from carbohydrate increases, the deaths from major cardiovascular disease actually increase. And the same thing they found that total mortality, this is called the forest plot. Total mortality increases when you consume more carbohydrate, even as compared to when you use more. So see, if carbohydrates are replaced by saturated fat, even then there is less mortality as compared to others. So it's important to limit intake of carbohydrate. This is also a very, very nice paper published in a very, very respected journal called as Lancet. I'm sure all of you have heard about this journal Lancet, and this is a paper published in Lancet Epidemiology, where it is showing that if people eat, this is a paper published by a lady called as Sarah Siddleman, who actually showed that if you eat less carbohydrate, less than 40%, there is high mortality. If you eat carbohydrates more than 50%, there is also high mortality. So she said that both high intake and low intake of carbohydrate is going to cause mortality. So it is very important just to eat diet containing 50% carbohydrate to decrease mortality among people. Remember, everything is as good as mortality. If you are eating something which is causing you to die, then there is no point eating it. Okay, but after knowing so much, this is what Indians eat. And they all carbohydrates, whether it is upma, it's dalia, it's bisibili bhat or khichdi, this is dahi bhat, this is idli, this is dosai, this is puri bhaji. Everything that Indians eat, even think, is only carbohydrate. So it is very, very important that carbohydrates are limited, and there should be an individualized assessment depending upon current eating pattern, preferences, and metabolic goals while you are distributing carbohydrate for the patient. What are the meal plans which are recommended internationally? Mediterranean diet or dietary approaches to stop hypertension or plant-based diets and low carbohydrate diets are what are recommended diet plans. So what is a good diet plan? Ghar ka khana, like Dr. Pavaskar was saying, okay, we have a rich tradition of eating food. So this is ghar ka khana. This is a khana made at my own home, which I only made, and I took a picture. So remember, when you eat food, this is what you have to remember. Definitely one green leafy, definitely one raw colored vegetable, definitely 2 sources of protein. It can be dal and sprouts, it can be dal and non-veg, it can be dal and dahi. That day I made dahi ka kadi. So it is dahi ka kadi and moong dal and just 1 roti. This makes your meal plan good. 2 proteins, 2 sources of fiber, and just 1 source of carbohydrate. Then there are a lot of low carbohydrate diet plans, Atkins, ketogenic diet. They are not recommended for women who are pregnant or lactating, people who have disordered eating, people who have kidney disease, and people who are taking certain kinds of drugs. Okay, so I am not going to go into this. I am just going to show you this. So carbohydrates are present everywhere, but the worst kind of carbohydrates are those which are present in drinks. Therefore, don't drink carbohydrate. So look at these carbohydrates. Instead of choosing all these drinks, it's important that you choose chas or you choose a whey protein shake or maybe a soya milk, or maybe a vegan protein shake. So these are bad choices as far as it goes, even if it's a freshly squeezed fruit juice, and these are great choices because they are rich in protein. How to eat to manage blood glucose? Lot of times these are questions asked, and for your advantage, I'm just giving you simple answers. So how to eat to manage blood glucose? Suppose you want to eat rice. So you want to manage your weight or manage your blood glucose, either or, mix it with equal amount of pulse. So here what we have shown is rajma, but you can mix it with yellow dal, you can mix it with dahi, whatever you want, even non-veg. So equal. दाल चावल बोलते हैं ना, चावल दाल बोलते हैं क्या हम? नहीं ना. तो दाल चावल मतलब दाल चावल से ज्यादा होनी चाहिए. सिर्फ फ्रूट खाने के बजाय फ्रूट के साथ थोड़ा नट्स खाइए. मिक्स फ्रूट विथ अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ नट्स, प्रोटीन मिलेगा, शुगर नहीं बढ़ेगी, वजन नहीं बढ़ेगा. इंडियन डाइट में सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है, there is no protein. Protein in Indian diet is very little, it is very inadequate, and we do not even meet half of our daily requirements. And इसीलिए every time you eat food, ask yourself a question: where is the protein? If you can't find answer to this question, please don't eat food till you get protein on your plate. Okay, so this is some simple thing to show you. When people have diabetes, it's a myth, okay, that they can eat idli. You will find that if you eat idli in diabetes and do your 2-hour postprandial sugar, it's very high. But people love idlis, right? And people think somehow idlis are very healthy. Also, say you have diabetes and you are going out, आप बाहर जा रहे हैं, आपको कहीं काम है, आप नाश्ता करके नहीं जा सके, 6 बजे सुबह निकले थे, ओके, डब्बा लेके नहीं जा सके, तो आपको बाहर खाना जरूरी हो जाता है. ऐसे समय में इडली इज अ वेरी गुड ऑप्शन. ऐसा लगता है ये फ्राइड नहीं है, ये अच्छी चीज है, ये खा सकते हैं. अगर जो आपने रेस्टोरेंट में ऐसा दिया जाता है ना, इडली और थोड़ा सा सांभर और थोड़ी सी चटनी, ये खाएंगे तो 100%, 100% शुगर बढ़ेगी. इसके बजाय एक इडली के साथ 2 बोल सांभर और थोड़ी सी चटनी खाना. क्या इसका ये मतलब है हम और एक इडली नहीं खा सकते? ये मतलब नहीं है. इसका ये मतलब है कि अगर और एक इडली खाई तो और 2 गुना सांभर खाना है और चटनी खानी है. ऐसे करेंगे 4 कटोरी सांभर खाने के बाद आपको तीसरी इडली खाने की हिम्मत नहीं होगी. 2 इडली में पेट भर जाएगा, ब्लड शुगर कम हो जाएगी या बढ़ेगी नहीं जिस तरह से बढ़नी चाहिए, और वजन भी कम होगा. ये सिंपल फेवरेट डिश है. आई थिंक सभी को ये फूड बहुत अच्छा लगता है, जो कि है राजमा चावल. अभी जैसे राजमा चावल खाते हैं तो डायबिटीज के लोग हमको हमेशा बोलते हैं हमको अच्छा बहुत लगता है मैडम, पर खा नहीं सकते क्योंकि चावल है. दिस इज द वे. इफ यू ईट राजमा चावल, शुगर नहीं बढ़ेगी. तो आधा प्लेट सलाद खाइए, इसमें 1 काकड़ी, 1 गाजर और 1 प्याज है, तो इतना आपको सैलेड खाना है. उसके बाद में 1 बड़ा बोल राजमा, 1 बड़ा बोल दही और 1 छोटा कटोरी चावल. इस प्रपोर्शन में आपने खाना खाया तो आपका खाने के बाद का शुगर नहीं बढ़ेगा. जितना बढ़ना चाहिए लेवल में उतना ही बढ़ेगा. तो एक याद रखिए, 2 प्रोटीन के लिए 1 कार्बोहाइड्रेट. जब आपके पास 2 प्रोटीन के सोर्स है, दही में प्रोटीन है, राजमा में प्रोटीन है, तो आप 1 गुना चावल ले सकते हैं जब आपने 2 गुना प्रोटीन लिया और 3 गुना सलाद खाना है. ये इसको कहते हैं कंटिन्यूस ग्लूकोज मॉनिटरिंग. आजकल हमारे सब डायबिटीज के पेशेंट्स पे हम ये चिप लगाते हैं और हम उनकी शुगर देखते हैं. ये जो पीला एरिया है ये हाई शुगर का एरिया है. तो जब ये पेशेंट हमारे पास आया था तब इसकी शुगर काफी हाई रहती थी. देखिए कितना हाई है. फिर धीरे धीरे करके आप देखिए नीचे शुगर का एरिया कम हो रहा है, शुगर ठीक होते जा रही है. जब ये पेशेंट हमारे पास आया था, ये सुबह नाश्ते में पोहा खाता था, तो पोहा खाने के बाद देखिए शुगर कितनी बढ़ी हुई है ना. पर पोहा लोगों को लगता है बड़ा हेल्दी है, पोहा घर का बना हुआ नाश्ता है, ट्रेडिशनल खाना है, पर पोहे से शुगर बहुत बढ़ती है. यही पोहे को हमने स्प्राउट्स में कन्वर्ट कर दिया, जिसे कहते हैं मूंग मोठ. उसको हमने कुक कर दिया, तड़का लगा के या कुक करके उसके ऊपर प्याज टमाटर डाल के चाट बना के, और देखिए शुगर बिल्कुल नहीं बढ़ी. शुगर का रीडिंग बिल्कुल फ्लैट आया है. और ये कमाल है प्रोटीन खाने का. जब आप कार्बोहाइड्रेट को प्रोटीन में रिप्लेस करते हो तो आपकी ब्लड शुगर बिल्कुल भी नहीं बढ़ती. तो आप क्या स्प्राउट्स ही खाने पड़ेंगे? बिल्कुल नहीं. स्प्राउट्स पसंद नहीं है तो चीला खा सकते हैं, जैसे मूंग दाल का चीला हो गया, बेसन का पूड़ा हो गया. साउथ में एक डोसा बनता है जिसे कहते हैं पेसरट, जो मूंग से बनता है वो आप खा सकते हैं, ढोकला खा सकते हैं, खमन जो बेसन से बनता है, चीनी मत डालिए उसमें, ढोकला बनाइए मूंग दाल का वो खा सकते हैं, मुठिया बनाइए, मिस्सी रोटी बनाइए, कोई भी दाल युक्त चीज खाएंगे तो आपकी ब्लड शुगर नहीं बढ़ेगी। अभी प्रोटीन रिलेटेड मिथ है और ये मुझे लगता है आप सब लोगों के मन में होगा कि हम दालें खाएंगे तो हमारा यूरिक एसिड बढ़ेगा और हमारा क्रिएटिनिन बढ़ेगा। तो एक याद रखिए, यूरिक एसिड कभी भी दाल खाने से बढ़ता नहीं। ये बहुत फेमस जर्नल है मेडिसिन का जिसका नाम है एनल्स ऑफ इंटरनल मेडिसिन। ये बहुत बहुत वेल रिस्पेक्टेड जर्नल है। इन्होंने यूरिक एसिड पिरामिड बनाया है, तो उसमें लिखा है कि सबसे ज्यादा नीचे पिरामिड क्या होता है, जो नीचे का भाग है वो ज्यादा करना है, ऊपर का भाग है वो कम करना है। तो आपका यूरिक एसिड ज्यादा है तो रोज व्यायाम करना, डेली एक्सरसाइज एंड वेट कंट्रोल, वजन कम करना है, इससे यूरिक एसिड कम होता है। ये देख रहे हैं ना हरा रंग का एरो जो नीचे जा रहा है। होल ग्रेन इन मोस्ट ऑफ द मील, होल ग्रेन मतलब साबुत गेहूं, ज्वार, बाजरा, रागी, ऐसा कुछ भी, या दालें। फिर प्लांट ऑयल्स मतलब घी नहीं, प्लांट्स के फैट, खूब सारी सब्जियां, इससे यूरिक एसिड नहीं बढ़ता। बहुत लोगों को लगता है गोभी, पत्ता गोभी, ये सब खाने से यूरिक एसिड बढ़ता है, बिल्कुल बढ़ता नहीं है। सब्जियों का कोई यूरिक एसिड पे असर ही नहीं है। फ्रूट मन चाहे उतने नहीं, दिन में 2 to 3 सर्विंग, 1 fruit is 2 servings, so you can eat 1 to 1.5 fruit, not more than that. लेग्यूम्स मतलब दालें, और नट्स मतलब आपके मूंगफली, बादाम, पिस्ता, अखरोट, इसका कोई भी यूरिक एसिड पे असर नहीं है। देखिए फ्लैट एरो है, तो इसके आप 1 to 3 सर्विंग्स ले सकती है। 2 कटोरी दाल, 1 मुट्ठी भर नट्स। फिश, पोल्ट्री और एग से तुम्हारा यूरिक एसिड बढ़ता है, तो नॉनवेज कम खाइए। कैल्शियम लेने से यूरिक एसिड कम होता है, दूध पीने से यूरिक एसिड कम होता है, तो वो पीना चाहिए। पर क्या नहीं खाना चाहिए, बटर और रेड मीट मतलब मटन नहीं खाना चाहिए। बटर मतलब मक्खन, और मक्खन मतलब ही घी, क्योंकि दुनिया भर में घी नहीं खाते, घी सिर्फ इंडिया में खाते, इसलिए उन्होंने घी नहीं लिखा है, पर बटर मक्खन से ही घी बनता है, तो बटर एंड घी। पास्ता मतलब मैदे की चीजें, मिठाइयाँ, चावल, आलू और ब्रेड, इससे यूरिक एसिड सबसे ज्यादा बढ़ता है, ये बिल्कुल भी नहीं खाना चाहिए। और एक चीज जिससे यूरिक एसिड बहुत बढ़ता है इज अल्कोहल, बियर, लिकर और वाइन से इतना नहीं बढ़ता पर फिर भी बढ़ता है। विटामिन सी लेना चाहिए या विटामिन सी युक्त फल खाने चाहिए, उससे यूरिक एसिड कम होने में मदद होती है। फैट्स, अभी ये ना फैट का बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है, लोगों को लगता है फैट बुरी चीज है। एक याद रखिए, फैट्स आर नॉट बैड, सारे तेल खराब नहीं होते। आप कंट्रोल के बाहर तेल खाते हैं, दैट्स बैड फॉर यू। ओके, सो ट्राई टू ईट फैट इन लिमिटेड क्वांटिटी, फैट इज गुड। In fact, there is a Mediterranean eating pattern which has a lot of emphasis on consuming fat, because they can improve your sugar and they can improve your lipids. But how should you consume fat? Not in form of oil, in form of nuts and oil seeds. So ये पिस्ता है, ये बादाम है, ये मूंगफली है, अखरोट है, these are seeds. चिया सीड्स, तिल है अलग अलग टाइप के, ये भी चिया सीड्स है, ये फ्लैक्स सीड्स है, सनफ्लावर सीड्स है, अलग अलग सीड्स आपको खाने चाहिए। नमक, एक चीज याद रखिए, सॉल्ट इज सॉल्ट। सेंधा नमक, काला नमक, पीला नमक, हरा नमक, कोई सा भी नमक हो, नमक नमक है, नमक कम खाना है। बहुत लोग हमारे पास आते हैं जिनका ब्लड प्रेशर हाई होता है, नहीं भी होता तो भी हम उनको एडवाइस करते हैं नमक कम खाओ, तो हमको पहला आंसर ये मिलता है, नहीं नहीं हम सफेद नमक नहीं खाते, हम सेंधा नमक खाते। सेंधा खाया तो भी ब्लड प्रेशर बढ़ता है। तो एक याद रखिए, नमक कम ही खाना है। ओके, सो देखिए ये सारे नमक, सेंधा हो, काला हो, पीला हो, हरा हो, कोई सा भी हो, नमक नमक है, कम खाइए। और नमक युक्त पदार्थ जैसे कि पापड़ है, चटनी है, अचार है, ये बिल्कुल भी मत खाइए, दिस इज नॉट गुड फॉर यू। माइक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट सप्लीमेंटेशन करना चाहिए या नहीं? कोविड के बाद बहुत सारा जिंक सप्लीमेंटेशन, विटामिन सी सप्लीमेंटेशन फैशन में आ गया था, बट यू विल रियलाइज दैट माइक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट को सप्लीमेंट करना है तो आपको डॉक्टर या डाइटिशियन के पास जा करके पूछ करके फिर सप्लीमेंट कीजिए, खुद का खुद मत कीजिए। ऐसा देखा गया है कि इंडिया में विटामिन B12 की बहुत डेफिशिएंसी है, और आपको डायबिटीज होगा तो आपको मेटफॉर्मिन नाम की गोली दी जाती है। मेटफॉर्मिन से B12 की डेफिशिएंसी बहुत बढ़ जाती है, इसीलिए वेजिटेरियन लोगों को विटामिन B12 लेना जरूरी है, पर अपने हेल्थ केयर प्रोवाइडर मतलब डॉक्टर या डाइटिशियन से बात किए बिना मत लीजिए। सो ट्रूएस्ट माइक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट सप्लीमेंट इज लॉट ऑफ वेजिटेबल्स। रोज अपने खाने में खूब सारी अलग अलग तरह की सब्जियां खाइए, अलग अलग रंग की सब्जियां खाइए, यह आपके हेल्थ के लिए बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है। ये क्वेश्चन सभी के मन में होता है, सिर्फ कोई पूछता नहीं है कि अल्कोहल का क्या। तो एक याद रखिए, alcohol is an allowance, it's not a recommendation. Nobody is telling you okay, please go and drink alcohol. Nobody is telling you that. So if you are drinking, you drink less. And what is less? For women, no more than 1 drink. For men, no more than 2 drinks. And 1 drink is equal to 12 ounces of beer, 6 ounces of wine, or 1.5 ounce of distilled spirit. बहुत सारे नॉन न्यूट्रिटिव स्वीटनर्स मार्केट में मिलते हैं, और हमेशा ऐसे लगता है हम स्वीटनर खरीदें। अभी FDA, फूड एंड ड्रग एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, ये कहता है कि सारे स्वीटनर्स सेफ हैं, पर यह भी देखा गया है कि स्वीटनर खाने के बाद वजन कम नहीं होता, बल्कि स्वीटनर वाली मिठाइयां खाने के बाद वजन ज्यादा बढ़ता है, शुगर ज्यादा बढ़ती है। क्यों? पता है क्यों? क्योंकि अगर जो आप नॉर्मल आइसक्रीम खा रहे हैं तो आप 1 स्कूप खाएंगे और बस, उसके बाद कुछ नहीं खाएंगे। अगर जो शुगर फ्री है, आपको किसी ने बोला ये आइसक्रीम में मीठा चीनी नहीं डाला है, गुड़ नहीं डाला है, तो फिर तो आप पूरा फैमिली पैक खाएंगे, करेक्ट, और फिर शुगर बढ़ने लगेगी। इसीलिए नॉन न्यूट्रिटिव स्वीटनर्स सिर्फ चाय कॉफी के लिए यूज करने चाहिए, नहीं कि उसके मिठाइयां बने। ओके, मील रिप्लेसमेंट नाम की चीज मिलती है। अगर जो इफ यू आर वाचिंग योर वेट, आपको अगर जो आपके वजन कम करना है, या अगर जो आपको आपका डायबिटीज कंट्रोल करना है, तो मील रिप्लेसमेंट बाजार में मिलते हैं, और वो लेने से आपका वजन कम होने में मदद हो जाती है। सो देखिए, ये सिंपल चीजें हैं। ये फ्रैंकी है और सॉफ्ट ड्रिंक्स 500 कैलोरी देते हैं। इसके बजाय 1 हाथ केला और सोया मिल्क पियेंगे तो 200 कैलोरी मिली। इसके बजाय सिर्फ स्प्राउट्स खाए तो 150 कैलोरी मिली। ये सस्ता भी है, घर पे भी बन जाता है, ये डब्बे में लेके आए तो डब्बे में से कुछ लीक भी नहीं होता। सो ट्राई टू ईट सिंपल प्रोटीनियस फूड लाइक स्प्राउट्स एवरी डे एज अ स्नैक। पूरा खाना जैसे हम कैंटीन में खाते हैं, पूरा खाएंगे तो शुगर बढ़ेगी, वेट बढ़ेगा। इसके बजाय मील रिप्लेसमेंट शेक लेंगे तो वजन नहीं बढ़ेगा। अब थोड़े से पिक्चर्स एंड देन एंड ऑफ द टॉक। दिस इज हाउ यू शुड ईट योर फूड। ये आपकी थाली है, ये थाली में ऐसा खाना होना चाहिए। 1/4 थाली, 1/4 of the plate should be full of raw vegetables. 1/4 of the plate should be full of cooked vegetables, which includes normal vegetable and a green leafy vegetable. 1/4 of the plate should be full of protein. I've put all sources of protein here. You can only have one. Paneer hai, dahi hai, sprouts hai, dal hai. And 1/4 of the plate should have either a roti or a potato or a rice. Do not have roti and rice and potato. जैसे आपने आलू की सब्जी और रोटी खाई, या आलू का रस्सा और चावल खाए, तो आपने सब्जी खाई ही नहीं, आपने प्रोटीन खाया ही नहीं, तो आपका खाना is not balanced. Sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes you have to ask hard questions. Sometimes it's time to unlearn. हमको ऐसे सिखाया गया है बचपन से कि रोटी चावल खाए बिना खाना कंप्लीट होता नहीं। बट यू शुड रियली आस्क, आपको सच में जरूरत है क्या रोटी चावल की? इतना शुगर बढ़ रहा है, आपका खाने के बाद का शुगर 200-250 है, तो आपकी सब्जी है, दाल है, रायता है, और कुछ भी आप बनवा के, जैसे इसमें मिर्ची है बनी हुई, तो आपको सच में रोटी चावल की जरूरत है क्या? अब आप बोलोगे कि रोटी या चावल के बिना कैसे खाएंगे? देखिए, हम रोटी को आप पीस करके दाल में डुबोते हैं या सब्जी में डुबो के खाते हैं। वी यूज roti as a spoon to eat your sabzi and dal. We also have a steel ka spoon. Use the steel ka spoon and not roti or rice to navigate all this food into your system. Order of eating is very important. ये आपकी थाली लगी है, सबसे पहले दाल खाइए। दाल खाते ही आपको रियलाइज होगा आपका पेट जल्दी भरेगा। फिर सलाद खाइए, फिर सब्जी खाइए, फिर दही खाइए, अब फिर परोसिए, थोड़ा दाल, थोड़ा सलाद, थोड़ी सब्जी, और फिर रोटी से खाइए। आपको रियलाइज होगा आधा से 1 रोटी के ऊपर आप खा नहीं सकते। मोमेंट आपने ये खाया तो आपका हार्ट डिजीज, डायबिटीज, वेट, ब्लड प्रेशर सब कम होने में मदद होगी। लास्ट कपल ऑफ स्लाइड्स। न्यूट्रिशनल डाइवर्सिटी की बहुत जरूरत है। न्यूट्रिशनल डाइवर्सिटी मतलब अलग अलग रंग की, अलग अलग ढंग की चीजें खाना। जैसे आपको, हम लोग पेशेंट्स को जब भी पूछते हैं क्लिनिक में आते हैं, आप हरे पत्ते की सब्जियां खाते हो? तो पेशेंट तुरंत बोलता है यस यस मैडम, हम ग्रीन लीफीज खाते हैं। क्या खाते हो? पालक और मेथी। कभी सब्जी वाले के पास जाके देखिए कितनी तरह की हरे पत्ते की सब्जियां है। ये सबको क्या हुआ? ये सब सब्जियां आपको खाई तो आपने हरे पत्ते की सब्जी खाई, वरना ये सिर्फ पालक मेथी से कोई गुण नहीं मिलने वाला। मैं ये नहीं कहती कि पालक मेथी अच्छा नहीं है, पर सिर्फ पालक मेथी खा के कोई फायदा नहीं होने वाला। आपको अलग अलग ढंग की, अलग अलग प्रकार की सब्जियां खाना जरूरी है। इंग्लिश में एक कहावत है, एन एप्पल अ डे कीप्स डॉक्टर अवे। एंड व्हाट अबाउट अदर फ्रूट्स? डोंट दे कीप डॉक्टर अवे? ऑफ कोर्स they keep doctor away even better. So look at this, instead of apple you can eat a guava, you can eat boar, you can eat jamun, you can eat karonda, you can eat star fruit, you can eat imli, you can eat jam, you can eat orange, you can eat avla, you can eat so many simple sasta indigenous Indian foods which will protect you from diseases far better than an apple can. I am not saying apple is not a good fruit. Apple is a very good fruit. But it's not possible to eat apple every day. You're going to get bored. So try to eat these indigenous fruits because they are very, very, very rich source of vitamin C. The richest source of vitamin C on planet Earth is avla. Yeah. So try to eat an avla a day. Let's change it. An avla a day keeps doctor away. अब परसों गणपति है, right? तो सबके घर में मोदक बनेगा। Change the attitude. Why should you eat modak every time? Change of attitude is use prasad as a fruit, as a prasad, so that ना आपका शुगर बढ़ेगा ना आपका वेट बढ़ेगा। क्या होता है ना, मैं सच्चाई आपको बता रही हूँ, लोग मीठा खाते हैं और नाम भगवान का लेते हैं कि हम प्रसाद को नहीं बोल सकते, इसलिए हमने मीठा खाया, फिर शुगर बढ़ गई, फिर वजन बढ़ गया। भगवान ने कहाँ कहा था कि मीठा खाओ? ऐसा तो कहीं कहा नहीं था। तो आप फ्रूट यूज कीजिए ताकि आपको आपका शुगर कंट्रोल में रहे। तो सिंपल मैसेजेस ऑलवेज गो अ लॉन्ग वे। मसाला डोसा विद चटनी, बैड चॉइस. Sada dosa with a little bit of sambar and chutney, better choice. A very good choice is a lot of sambar, chutney and one sada dosa. That's a good choice because इतना खाने के बाद आपको दूसरा डोसा खाने की भूख नहीं रहेगी। इतना खाने के बाद शायद आप दूसरा डोसा खा सकते हैं। So remember, eating is always a decision. Nobody is forcing your hand to pick up food and put it in your mouth. तो जो खा रहे हैं आप कहते क्या रहे, उसने बोला खा ले तो मैंने खा लिया, और उसने फोर्स नहीं किया। कुछ आपके हाथ में चीज देके आपके मुंह में नहीं डाली, वो मुंह में तो आपने खुद ही डाली। तो रिमेंबर, दिस इज अ वेरी वेरी बिग डिसीजन टू ईट फूड। सो रिमेंबर, हमको टू प्रमोट हेल्दी डाइट्स वी हैव टू रीथिंक अबाउट द फूड एंड आवर कंट्री नीड्स टू रीथिंक अबाउट फूड पॉलिसी. इट इज टाइम दैट वी स्टॉप प्रमोटिंग राइस एंड व्हीट टू ईट. ऐसा मत बोलिए अपने बच्चों को कि रोटी और चावल खाना ही चाहिए। ऐसा बोलिए कि सब्जी दाल खाना चाहिए। रोटी चावल खा करने की इतनी जरूरत ही नहीं है जितना लोग खाते हैं। सब्जियां खा नहीं रहे, फ्रूट्स खा नहीं रहे, पल्सेस खा नहीं रहे, वो ज्यादा जरूरी है आज के तारीख में। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर अ पेशेंट हियरिंग. आई विल बी हैप्पी टू टेक एनी अमाउंट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस.
Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you, ma'am. Ketan sir, I would like to request you to kindly, because I have seen many people writing questions, and I think lot of people are having questions, and I request you, Ketan, if you have written the questions, it would be better if you sort out the question and ask, so that we can get more and more answers from ma'am. And ma'am, I would like to thank you personally for being there and sharing a very good information. And there are a lot of things I usually discuss this with our children and even their parents, that whatever, as you said, whatever comes in season is the best, especially fruit, vegetables. And I think, the nature provides us with all this. So that is something which is very appealing, and I'm sure they have certain questions. I just wanted to speak in between only because there is one question which is coming from everyone, mostly that it is a very informative session, and they want they want to have the presentation, your presentation for their future. This I would like to tell everyone that thanks for appreciating this, and yes, you please interact with madam and ask your questions, and not to, I will it is up to madam whether she would like to share it with us. So we will request her, if she is willing, we can share this with you in future. And not only that, but my students in the nutritional awareness program, I would like to tell you that we are making lot of such presentations, charts, and through all we will be reaching to you. So please remain connected with us so that we can share all this information even in future with you. I just wanted to say that. Thank you, ma'am. And Ketan,
Yes,
can
ma'am.
we have the questions?
Yes, ma'am. I have listed the questions.
Yeah.
I've also sent you the questions. I'll ask one by one. So there are some questions in the chat box. That can we have brown means you mentioned about uric acid. So some people are asking that can we have brown rice for uric acid, and how about the fishes in diabetes?
So first question, brown rice and uric acid. Now, if you look at my presentation, white rice is right on top. If you remember, do you want me to show it again? So this is the slide. White rice is right at the top of the pyramid. So any kind of rice and rice product which gives you a lot of carbohydrate is not good for you.
Correct.
So try to restrict rice, but if you just can't do without it, first of all, try to get very good quality brown rice. Ardhar brown rice in the market is painted brown. It is not real. So go to some local shop and ask for, in Konkan, it is called हाथ सड़ीचा तांदूळ. तो हाथ से कूट के देते हैं. वो पकने में करीबन आधा पौना घंटा लगता है थोड़ा सा चावल बनाने में. It has so much fiber. And remember, even if you eat brown, blue, yellow, green, any color rice, it has to be eaten little. Brown है इसलिए दबा के पूरा प्लेट भर के नहीं खाने का, थोड़ा ही खाने का. And the second question was fish, right?
Yes.
Second question was fish in diabetes. Yes, you can eat fish in diabetes. There is no problem at all. Just don't eat fried fish.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, there is one question. What is the relation between diet and timing of having food? Means why breakfast in the morning?
Very important. It's very important. It's called the circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm is the rhythm of our body. At every fixed time, our body makes fixed hormones. I'll give you some of the examples. For example, morning 8 o'clock, we make the hormone cortisol. This is for biochemistry students. Unke parents ko shayad ye na samjhe, but students ko pata hai ki 8 baje subah cortisol banta hai. Sham ko 7 baje melatonin banta hai. These are just few examples. आप कितने भी बजे सो, आप रात को नेटफ्लिक्स देख के 4 बजे भी सो, मेलेटोनिन तो शाम को 7 बजे ही बनता है. करेक्ट? इट डजंट मीन कि आपने नेटफ्लिक्स देखना है तो आप आपके हाइपोथैलेमस को बोलो कि आज जरा रात को 2 बजे मेलेटोनिन बनाना. ऐसा नहीं चलता है. वो तो 7 बजे ही शाम को बनता है. तो योर बॉडी इज गोइंग टू स्लीप एट अराउंड 8 o'clock और 9 o'clock. तभी आपका बॉडी का रेट, जैसे आपको समझो लेक्चर शाम को 9 बजे रखा, तो आप बैठोगे तो लेक्चर को पावस्कर मैडम को डर के, पर वैसे तो सो गए हो ना अंदर से, दिमाग में तो कुछ नहीं जाएगा, बैठे रहोगे. वैसा आपका बॉडी खाना तो खा लेता है पर उसका बनता कुछ नहीं है. सो ट्राई नॉट टू ईट लेट. Try to eat early before your melatonin secretion rises, and globally all over, if you go to any other country, dinner time is 6 o'clock. They finish their dinner by 7 before melatonin actually gets secreted. So because then your body is supposed to rest. Your body is not supposed to do digestion का काम. Exam के बाद आपको पढ़ाई करने बोला तो आप करोगे क्या? नहीं ना. वैसे melatonin secrete होने के बाद body को काम नहीं देने का. Okay, that is why eating early is important. Eating a breakfast early in the morning, as soon as you get up, is important so that you get enough energy to work. Eating lunch in the afternoon is important when your energy level dips. But after saying all this, it's very important to eat only when you are hungry.
Yeah.
Ladies in this group, I am also a woman and I know how our dimag works. That is why I'm telling you, बाई आने वाली है, खाना खा लो. बाई आके बर्तन करके जाएगी. बाई आ रही है इसलिए नहीं खाना खाने का. भूख लगी है इसीलिए खाना खाने का. भूख नहीं लगी है और बाई आ गई तो जो बाद में खाना खा रहा है उसको बोला अपना प्लेट खुद धो के रखे. पर just because there is a बाई coming, you cannot make your children eat food. इससे आपके ब्रेन में जो पेट भरने का इंडिकेशन होता है वो खराब हो जाता है और वो खराब हो गया. Your hunger and satiety signals get disturbed, and when they get disturbed, obesity sets in. बहुत लेडीज होती है, अभी गरम गरम रोटी बनी है, खा लो. क्यों खाओ? भूख नहीं है तो. भूख नहीं है तो नहीं खाना है.
Yes, ma'am. There are also.
Ma'am, I would like to ask, Ketan, I would like to ask one question which I saw in the chat box, which I feel is very important. And I usually talk on this. Ma'am, they are asking, somebody is asking for about food supplements. Is it good to have food supplements? I would like to first have your view on this.
Okay.
It is good to have food supplements.
Remember one thing. Though we say our diets are complete, they are not. There are a lot of things lacking in diet innately. Also, a lot of time cooking methods prevent lot of micronutrients from being absorbed. For example, B complex. आपने मोमेंट सब्जी को तड़का दे दिया, आपका सब B complex जल गया. विटामिन सी, आपने टमाटो का प्यूरी बना दिया, विटामिन सी का बायो अवेलेबिलिटी कम हो गया. तो ऐसा होगा तो आपको फूड सप्लीमेंट लेने की जरूरत पड़ेगी. But just don't eat it because there is nothing better to do. Okay, so go to a medical person, professional, whether a doctor, whether a dietitian. There are a lot of tests which can be done to actually know your micronutrient status. For example, you can do hemoglobin and ferritin to know your iron status. You can do your calcium status. You can do your vitamin D, vitamin B12. ये तो बहुत आसानी से available and cheaply available test है. Please get them done. Just because iron का गोली सस्ता है does not mean you should take iron का गोली. If you need iron का गोली, you definitely need it. But just because there is this, सब लोग लेते हैं, fashion हो जाता है, don't take it. Same is true with protein supplement. Before you start a protein supplement, it's a folded hand request. First, check your creatinine levels. If your creatinine is normal, then take protein supplement. And if you're taking protein supplement because you are gymming, then keep checking your creatinine every 3 months. ऐसा नहीं कि जैन में क्रिएट किया और दिसंबर तक सप्लीमेंट ले रहे हैं. बीच में क्रिएटिनिन बढ़ गया तो पता भी नहीं चलेगा, किडनी डैमेज परमानेंट हो जाता है. तो क्रिएटिनिन करना जरूरी है.
Yeah. Ma'am, I agree with you. I would just like to add one small thing, what you said about food supplementation. And this is my, this is my experience. Especially this food supplement, as you say, it becomes very, very necessity for old age people. Yeah, because yes, because they have a lot of disorders, and this is something I have experienced because I have my mom. I recently lost my other two, but I was giving them this nutritional supplements, and because of which, till my father or my grandmother, till they were metabolically, very much fit. And of course, as you said, it is important that you take under expert advice. This is a most important thing, either a nutritional expert or a doctor. But it is, I have found it very, very important, especially old age people. One thing, because of old age, they can't eat much. So their hunger reduces. They have a lot of illnesses, तो ये नहीं खाना है, वो नहीं खाना है. और इसमें ये न्यूट्रिशनल सप्लीमेंट्स मैंने देखा है कि उनको काफी हेल्प कर जाते हैं, एंड दे मेंटेन देयर विगर बिकॉज ऑफ दैट. And once that is maintained, their body and mind, everything works together. So when they are bodily fit, their mind also remains good. So I have seen this working very well, especially in old age people. But of course, as you said, it has to be taken under advice. You cannot just take it, but this is something I wanted to add. There is one more question on somebody is saying about the cultural heritage of India. And madam, I would like to
Ayurveda.
invite your opinion.
Ayurveda.
Yeah, Ayurveda. Yeah.
Okay. I want to take this question. I just read it in the chat box. I am not against Ayurveda.
Yeah.
But I believe, and this is my strong belief, people do not follow Ayurveda in the right spirit. Ayurveda bola matlab daba ke ghee khane ka aur chawal khane ka. That is the idea of Ayurveda in people. Ayurveda ka very essential part of ahar is pathya and upas, which both of this is not done by people. They will eat khana made in ghee because that's convenient. But they will not. आयुर्वेद में ऐसा थोड़ी लिखा है कि बाहर जाओ अमूल का घी लेकर आओ और गरम करके घर में तड़का लगाओ. आयुर्वेदा में ऐसा लिखा है कि you have to make ghee in your own house. How many people do that? So remember, when you're talking about an eating pattern has to suit that person's lifestyle. See, why we are talking about Mediterranean diet is because Mediterranean diet ka research has happened in 2005. Our life from 2005 has changed maybe 10% or abhi maybe 20% because we are all sitting at home. But essentially the food availability, the use of fertilizers, pesticides, all is same. Ayurveda is a very beautiful science, but written 1000 years back. So you have to change that to suit today's need. You cannot take that same principle and apply it today. For example, just 2 months back, I gave a talk to Ayurveda College. They had called me to speak. There is a Ayurveda College, Ayurveda Association. Like we have IMA for medicine, they have Ayurveda Ka Association. And they actually told me that when they say that you can have honey in diabetes, that honey should have wax in it. So wax inhibits absorption of simple carbohydrate and it becomes a channel to take medicine. But how many people follow this? Is our Dabur honey or any honey that we eat in market having wax in it? So remember, it is a beautiful science, but it has to be practiced in its reality and not the interpretation which people are making it today. It has to be practiced in its purest form. And another thing, Ayurveda mein, exercise is very essential because when Ayurveda was written, there were no computers. People were plowing fields every day. If you can work as hard as to plow a field every day, you're free to eat what you like.
Yeah. Ketan?
Yes, ma'am. There are more questions, ma'am. One question is means one person has chatted that I am liver patient since last 4 or 5 years and I'm still on medication. Whether I know my liver enzymes elevate when I stop taking medicines. Could you please, ma'am, comment?
I can't say anything till we see all the reports. We understand what has happened to you. Just elevated liver enzymes can mean 1,500 things. We really don't know. So this is something that you have to sit one-on-one, sit with all the reports, see the gradation of enzymes, see what has been happening. We wouldn't be able to tell you in a open forum.
Yeah. We can share your contact with the viewer so that, in case whenever he wants or he or she wants, they can share it with you and take your advice. Yes, Ketan?
There are other questions which are related to the earlier. You have already answered those questions like timings of the food and food when should have in the stressful times. You have already answered those questions, ma'am. And there are certain specific diabetic and very specific questions which also, as you said, will be need to sit with those patients separately to tackle those issues, and then only you will be able to comment on that. Such type of some questions related to timings and specific disorders have been posted. All other questions? Yes.
Yeah, so if the questions are done, if there are any more questions, I invite you to take opportunity and ask. And I request Saima madam to just share the feedback link to everyone so that they can give the feedback. But I think it will be done only after the second lecture because both the feedbacks are linked. If they are separate, Saima madam, then you can share the link for feedback session of Shilpa Joshi ma'am right now. If they are together, you can share the link just before the second lecture gets over. That is Nazneen Hussain ma'am. There is one question I can see by
Yes.
Murtaza. Ketan, can you read and ask that question?
Yes, ma'am. Murtaza had earlier asked about red wine, ma'am. Which
I want to take that question.
yes, ma'am.
So, Mr. Murtuza, it's a very, very good question. ये सबके मन में हिम्मत सिर्फ आप में है पूछने की. So the first thing is the red wine का जितना क्या कहते हैं बोलबाला है ना, that there is resveratrol and it is very friendly for heart and falana and dhimkana. That is all true for Caucasians, white people. None of this research is done on Indians. So आपको रेस्वेरेटॉल ही लेना है तो काले अंगूर खाइए, उसमें भी मिलता है. उसके लिए रेड वाइन पीने का कोई जरूरत नहीं. एप्पल में भी रेस्वेरेटॉल है, पेयर में भी रेस्वेरेटॉल है, पीच में भी रेस्वेरेटॉल. एनीथिंग व्हिच इज पर्पल इन कलर will have a lot of resveratrol, which is an antioxidant, which increases HDL cholesterol, which is the good cholesterol. So having wine is one of the ways. Remember, all the data on wine is on white people. It is really not on Indians or Asians or even Afro-Americans. मतलब blacks पे भी data नहीं है. In fact, only data of alcohol on Indians is that it increases blood pressure. So if somebody is hypertensive or has high uric acid, and if you give them alcohol, if they are Indians, Southeast Asians, मतलब like us, then blood pressure will rise and uric acid will rise. There is no data to prove that heart attack नहीं आएगा. Heart attack तो आने वाला है तो आएगा ही. उसके लिए रोटी चावल कम खाना पड़ेगा.
Ma'am, there is one question from Gunjan. She wants to know about the consumption of caffeine. What would you suggest? Maybe
Okay.
she is having coffee, so consumption
So
of
if
caffeine.
you are having like 2-3 cups of coffee, कुछ नहीं होता है. But
Okay.
if you are having double espresso 4 times a day, फिर बहुत कुछ होता है. So
Yeah.
then your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure can shoot up, you can get anxiety, you can get panic disorders. There are a lot of things can happen. But अपना जो इंडिया का वॉश डाउन कॉफी है, मतलब दूध में थोड़ा सा नेस्कैफे डाल के घोल के पीने का, उससे कुछ नहीं होता है. पर उसमें शक्कर मत डालो. Don't add sugar to that coffee. You can have 2 to 3 cups of coffee a day. That is not a problem. Problem is adding sugar to it.
Yeah, thank you.
Ma'am, there is one more question.
Yeah,
Regarding
please.
the replacement of the meal. That Kavish says, especially person working in field doesn't get doesn't get
Yes.
proper time to eat, so they are taking some protein rich milk and other food. So is there any
So
impact?
they can't take protein rich food. They have to take something called as a meal replacement. Meal replacement is different from a protein shake. Understand that. Protein shake is what is taken after a workout. Meal replacement is what is taken in lieu of a meal. And these two are extremely different things with different nutrient composition, with different micronutrient profile. सब कुछ अलग है. It is like दो अलग चीज है. इसका अपने आप में कोई संबंध नहीं है. So do not just take a protein rich drink. Take a meal replacement instead of meal. If you want to know names of meal replacement, contact me personally. I'll give them to you.
There is somebody who wants to ask about hair fall. Okay, how the hair fall is related to nutrition.
Okay, so what is hair? Hair is keratin.
Keratin.
And what is keratin? Keratin is a protein.
Protein.
पेट में नहीं जाएगा तो बाहर कहाँ से आएगा? हाँ, दिन में 2 कटोरी दाल खाओ, 2 कटोरी दही खाओ, 1 गिलास दूध पियो, अंडा खाओ, तो जाके बाल आएंगे. वड़ा पाव खा के बाल लंबे नहीं होते.
Somebody wants to know about women and men. How the weight gain is different in women and men.
It's not about men and women. It's about you personally. Everybody has a different BMR and everybody gains and loses weight at a different rate. Yes, women gain more fat than men because that is the way our hormones are made. Estrogen will do that for you. Estrogen, progesterone will help you to collect a little more fat because that is what is needed for a woman for childbirth. So that is needed to protect the fetus, that is needed to nourish the fetus. Therefore, they will have more fat than men. Normal fat values of women are more than normal fat values of men. But whether women gain more weight or men gain more weight, this is not about men or women. This is about your BMR and how you lose weight or how you gain weight.
Two questions, ma'am, separate questions. They want to you to say something on herbal life shakes.
So I am very sorry. It is a specific company product.
Yeah.
And I do not think in an open forum, I should point out at any company.
Correct,
it's just not right. Contact me personally. I will give you my views on it.
Yeah. And green tea, because there is a lot of green tea consumption.
Green tea gives you epigallocatechin. Epigallocatechin is a functional food. It is good for you. पर इसका ये मतलब नहीं कि खाली ग्रीन टी पी के वजन कम होता है. मेहनत करनी पड़ती. ऐसा है ना कि ट्यूशन जाके मार्क्स नहीं मिलते. ट्यूशन जाने के बाद खुद पढ़ाई करनी पड़ती है, तभी जाके मार्क्स मिलते. इट इज एग्जैक्टली लाइक दैट. जस्ट ड्रिंकिंग ग्रीन टी विल नॉट कॉज वेट लॉस. पीपल थिंक बैठे रहते हैं और दिन भर ग्रीन टी पीते हैं और वजन कम नहीं हो रहा है. मैडम कैसे कम होगा? पहले हिलो तो थोड़ा. So that is the thing. If you're doing everything, then green tea will aid weight loss. But if you're going to eat wrong, if you're not going to exercise, green tea cannot do anything.
Yeah. Main thing is whatever you eat, you need to expend that calories. Whatever calories you are taking in, you have to expend.
And you have to eat right kind of calories.
Yes.
See, full meal has 200 calories. Suppose आपका 2 रोटी और भाजी में 200 कैलोरी है. वड़ा पाव में भी 200 है. पर वड़ा पाव का 200 निकालने को बहुत टाइम लगता है. रोटी सब्जी का जल्दी निकल जाता है. So what you eat is also important.
What you eat, when you eat,
and how much you eat.
How much you eat,
and how happy you are when you eat. Stress
that is
तो cortisol बढ़ा हुआ होगा. Cortisol बढ़ा होगा तो सारे खाने का फैट ही बनने वाला है. कुछ भी कर.
That is I think the most important thing. How happily you eat. That is.
So every time, इसीलिए जब भी बैठना है, खाना है, शांति से बैठो और शांति से खाओ. 2 लेक्चर के बीच में टाइम नहीं है तो खाने का जरूरत नहीं है. दिस इज फॉर ऑल स्टूडेंट्स. कुछ नहीं होने वाला. 2 लेक्चर्स के बीच नहीं खाया तो देयर इज लॉट ऑफ फैट. नथिंग इज गोइंग टू हैपन टू यू. बट व्हेन यू ईट, आराम से बैठो, आराम से खाओ. वंस यू फिनिश फूड, यू गो बैक टू स्टडिंग. वो 15 मिनट आपने पढ़ाई करके आपको 99.99% मार्क्स नहीं मिलने वाले. वी हैव ऑल बीन देयर. आई हैव बीन देयर. पावस्कर मैडम हैज बीन देयर. Dr. Seema Khan has been there. Nazneen has been there. We all have studied, and after studying we all know that कुछ नहीं होता है 15 मिनट ज्यादा कम पढ़ने से. खाना बहुत जरूरी है. शांति से खाओ, कुछ नहीं होगा.
So somebody asking about staple diet, madam. How important it is to have staple diet, means South Indian diet in South Indian area. And
see, having a traditional diet is good. But traditional diet has to support traditional activities. South Indian लोग जब भी पहले जमाने में हम लोग को सब बोलते हैं ना, हमारे केरला के पेशेंट आके, कि हमारे तो खाने में कितने 200, 500, 1000 साल से नारियल है. आप क्या बोलते हो नारियल नहीं खाना चाहिए? Then my explanation to them is, तुम लोग का जो grandparents were eating coconut, there was a coconut tree in your house. Somebody used to go up that coconut tree, get it. Then your dadi used to cut it and then scrape it and then use it and then use it, right? What do? We go down or we don't even go down. We call up big basket or we don't even call up now. We just distinct freshly grated coconut and it comes on our doorsteps. क्या मेहनत है? फिर क्यों नारियल खाने का? So वो नारियल का जो कुछ 100 कैलोरी था, that are all getting converted to fat in your body because you didn't work hard for it. So eating staple is important, but eating staple in the right way. अभी जैसा गणपति में सब मोदक खाएंगे. I still remember my grandmother used to piso that चावल का आटा at home. Then she used to stand and make that उकडीचे मोदक for like 2 hours, and then she would eat 2. अभी most of the people in my generation call up a lady who makes ukdiche modak, buy 12, warm them and eat them. तो फिर कहाँ से खा सकते हैं? खा ही नहीं सकते ना.
Yeah. Unless you are spending it, you cannot eat. That is
So
most
traditional
important thing.
diets are excellent if you are working
Yes.
hard for it.
Yes. Agreed. Ma'am, many people are writing. They want to have your contact number. I would like to share with all the viewers that yes, definitely we are. That is why I want you to fill registration form and also the feedback form, so that we can have your contacts in future. And we are going to make a group whereby we are going to share, of course, with the permission of our
Please do
experts who
share,
will be
no problem.
talking. We will be sharing all their details to you so that you can go to them. You can take their expertise in future. We are definitely going to do that. One question is related to gut. How you, what kind of a diet would you like to suggest for, especially if they have gut problem or intestinal problems?
I love this question because gut health. You know, Hippocrates, father of modern medicine, said, "Death lives in gut." जिनका पेट खराब उनका जिंदगी खराब. Remember that.
Correct.
So if you want good gut health, eating on time, eating limited, don't overeat. Stomach doesn't like overeating because stomach doesn't like to work overtime. Exactly like you. तुम्हारा 2 lecture बोला है तो 2 ही चाहिए ना, 4 रखा तो गुस्सा आता है. वैसा. तो nobody likes to work overtime. तो कम खाओ ताकि पेट को काम कम पड़े. Second thing is eat whole foods. Don't eat refined. For example, don't eat bread, eat a chapati. Don't eat white rice. Try to eat a khichdi or try to eat, something in which lot of things are mixed while you are eating rice. You eat millets. You eat dals. Eat sabut dal. मतलब चने की दाल के बजाय अक्खा चना. मूंग की दाल के बजाय अक्खा मूंग. मटकी, चौली. Try to eat plenty of vegetables because these vegetables go undigested in your colon, on which your gut-friendly bacteria thrive. These are prebiotics on whom probiotics grow. If you have good probiotics, remember your gut is good. And drink fermented drinks, like drink a buttermilk. Chas pina is very, very good for you. So try to drink such things rather than drinking a Coke or a Pepsi or something like that. Chach piyo. This is very, very good for you. So इससे पेट साफ रहता है, पेट हल्का रहता है, and stomach does not like fatty and sweet food. Remember, it delays gastric emptying. Delayed gastric emptying मतलब बहुत देर तक काम करना पड़ता है. So eat हल्का फुल्का खाना. That's what Ayurveda recommends. Eat very हल्का खाना. And mita ahar means little food, not भर भर के खाना.
Mita ahar, but regular, not many times. Only when you are hungry.
Yes.
Only when you are hungry. That is very important.
जब भी एग्जाम आती है तभी पढ़ाई करते हैं ना, तो जब भी भूख लगेगी तभी खाना खाने का. समझो आपको पावस्कर मैडम ने बोला 1 साल एग्जाम में कोई बुक नहीं खोलेगा.
Happiness they will be.
जिस दिन एग्जाम डिक्लेयर किया उस दिन सबने बुक खोली. वैसा जब भी भूख लगी तभी खाना खाओ. जबरदस्ती फुल साल खाने का जरूरत नहीं है.
Yeah, and they can have rice and dal. What they can do, I think, is you can add lot of, as you said, lot of usad or bhaji and all this stuff so that your quantity becomes the same.
Madam,
but actually,
this is something, I'm sorry to cut you, but this is something I tell my patient. हम क्या बोलते हैं? दाल चावल. हम कभी चावल दाल बोलते हैं? नहीं.
Yeah,
दाल चावल खाओ. So dal should be 2 times the चावल.
Exactly.
Simple.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And if they want, they can add even sabzi to it. They can add usad, whatever they have. But in that quantity of rice, if it is limited, then they can have that, and still they can enjoy their regular meal. Yes, Ketan, are there any other questions?
There are 2-3 questions. I clubbed them because 2-3 different questions they've asked.
Yeah,
this may be the last this thing. They requested me to ask that they eat a lot. Means throughout a day they eat a lot, but then too they don't gain weight. So what to do to gain weight? They have a little different question than us.
पिछले जन्म में बहुत पुण्य किया है. पूरा दिन खा के भी वजन नहीं बढ़ता. No, but
that is something, madam, with our Hina. She's the best example, I feel. But I mean, you can answer that first. So
it is not about weight. Weight is what you can see. Fat is what you can't see. So, Dr. Hina, this is not to point out to you.
Yeah,
The thing is that somebody who weighs 40 kilos can be 30 kilos fat and 10 kilos muscle. Somebody
Yes.
who weighs 40 kilo can be 30 kilo muscle and 10 kilo fat. Remember, and that body composition depends upon what you eat and how much you exercise. तो ऐसे बहुत लोग बहुत proudly बोलते हैं, मैं तो हिलता भी नहीं पर मेरा वजन नहीं बढ़ता है, पर जितना वजन है वो सब फैट है, फिर वो वजन का फायदा क्या? Correct? So remember, it is not about what is on the scale. It is about what is inside you. हिलते नहीं हो तो फैट ही बढ़ेगा, मसल बढ़ ही नहीं सकता है. ये सब बायोकेमिस्ट्री की टीचर्स है. मसल बढ़ने के लिए सबसे पहले मसल को डिस्ट्रॉय होना पड़ता है. Till you do not have muscle cells lysing, muscle cell is not going to grow. अभी muscle cell lyse होने को तुमको हिलना पड़ेगा ना. बैठे बैठे muscle cell को कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा है. In fact, intrafascicular fat बढ़ता है. मतलब between two muscle cells there is a layer of fat. You know, this is what you see in broiler chicken. So whoever is non-vegetarian or गाउठी खाते हैं ना, तो कड़क चबाना पड़ता है बहुत, बराबर? आप लोग ब्रॉयलर खाते हैं तो एकदम नरम चिकन टिक्का बनता है, करेक्ट? Because between muscle cells there is a lot of fat. Because they are corn fed. ये जो पोल्ट्री में जो मुर्गियां होती है उसको कॉर्न या दाने खिलाए जाते हैं, अनाज खिलाया जाता है, इसीलिए फैट बनता है. जो फ्री लिविंग मुर्गी होती है, मतलब गाउठी, वो तो कीड़े मकोड़े खाती है, तो उसमें फैट नहीं होता है जरा भी. वो कीटोजेनिक डाइट पे होती है, तो वो मुर्गी खाओ, ब्रॉयलर मत खाओ.
Ma'am, one more question. Utilization of green tea in weight loss.
May I interrupt?
बोला ना?
Yes.
I spoke about green tea.
Yes, yes.
Yes, Saima ma'am.
Ma'am, there are a lot of questions. There's still many questions.
I think
direct questions,
Nazneen
but
is
I
here. She
believe
needs to
yeah,
speak.
we need to
Yes.
start the next session.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just I think Nazneen ma'am is waiting. So
Yes.
if there are any important question left, please, Ketan sir, you can just ask one or two questions, and I think we can then start the second seminar, because I'm sure there will be a lot of questions. And yes, those don't feel I mean, you can still keep asking question. We can just write all the question and send it across so that we can, ma'am can answer that and we can get back to you on this definitely. So you may be having a lot of questions to Nazneen ma'am as well. So Ketan, if
Yes,
there are one or two more questions you can take, and we can go to the next, I'm sure.
Mostly all the
Because there are
questions,
going to be endless questions today.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, that's what ma'am has already answered about the green tea consumption of the amount of green tea to be consumed for weight loss, because some people just go on taking green tea throughout the day.
3 to 4 cups.
Yes. Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, I think there will be more questions which we will take and which we will forward it to you, so you can just, as per your convenience.
Please email it to me. I'll be
Yes.
very, very happy to answer.
Yeah. We will list that, and we will definitely email it to you, ma'am, so that we can then share with everyone in the group, because we are going to create a Google group where we can share these questions and your answers to these questions, so that, maybe because of time constraint, even if we are not able to take all the questions here, please, audience, you can still write to us, and we can definitely share the answers from madam on the Google Classroom that we are going to create for now as well as for future. Of course, we are going to share ma'am's contact number and contact details also, definitely.
I have copied all the questions, so we can take them later on.
Yeah. Ketan sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I take this pleasure to thank you, madam, for this wonderful talk. Madam, you very well explained about what is diet and diet planning. You also very well made it clear that diet plan is not a general plan and has to be designed for each individual separately, taking into consideration the individual's health. You also created awareness about diabetes and various facts about lack of cereals, fruits, and overall lack of proteins in Indian diet. Very well made aware, everyone, you made everyone aware about link of excessive carbohydrates and cardiovascular diseases, and how a best meal should be. You explained about correct eating patterns and various prevailing myths about uric acid. You have motivated all of us to choose the correct food path, and you have also really very much taken very high efforts to answer all our queries. Thank you, madam. I thank you again for coming and delivering this excellent talk. I thank you on behalf of the entire Somaiya campus. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. And thank you, Pavaskar
Thank you.
madam, for having me here. And I'm very
Thank
happy
you.
because I got to see Nazneen after 6 months, I think. So because of you, I am seeing my friend after 6 months.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Even I'm seeing all of you after so much time period, because we have
Yes,
met during our sessions earlier. Even Nazneen ma'am, I'm going to meet after a long time.
Very long
So thank
time.
you so much. Thank you so much for to both of you rather for coming. And I think people are loving it because it is a very informative session. They can use it in their own life, and that is what is very important. So, Shilpa ma'am, thank you very much for coming, and Nazneen ma'am, I welcome you for this your talk.
Thank you
And
so much, ma'am.
yeah,
Wow.
Shilpa ma'am, I will share the rest of the questions with you later so that you can answer in email, and we can share it in the Google Classroom. Thank you so much.
Wow, what a wonderful talk by Shilpa ma'am. And the response is itself talking about it. We cannot deliver that in word. The response of the delegates in the chat box is showing this. So now moving ahead with our session, I call upon my colleague once again, Mrs. Saima Khan, and request her to introduce our second speaker of the day, Mrs. Nazneen Hussain, Founder Director of Freedom Wellness Management. Saima ma'am.
It's again my pleasure to formally introduce our next speaker, Ms. Nazneen Hussain. She's a founder director at the Freedom Wellness Management. She's a chairperson for Nutrify Today. She's a national executive committee member of the IDA, Indian Dietetics Association. She has been the chief nutritionist for the Steadfast Football Academy. She has been associated as a nutritionist advisor to the top elite schools of Mumbai, so also lot of corporate companies. She has been very regular in newspaper columns, in radio shows, and so also on the TV shows. She is a very famous counselor for a lot of celebrities in Bollywood and otherwise as well. So we welcome you, ma'am, for today's session.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saima, and thank you, Dr. Samvida, for this warm welcome, and Dr. Ketan and Dr. Hina. And it is always a pleasure because Shilpa is also a very, very close friend and family, and so is Shuprabha Nishtala. So it is amongst great friends today, and I see this really amazing audience who is so excited to learn. So it is my honor and privilege to be here. So I am going to straight away move on to my presentation. But before that, in this presentation, I aim to talk about, all the things what Shilpa said were towards a healthier diet. Now we are going to decode all this into how we can put it into our day-to-day life, right? Because eventually all this has to get translated, and us as a country, we are a very lazy country. So that is one thing which, we really need to work on, taki, slowly as we move towards fitness, our overall health should improve, right? So how many of you all identify with this slide and you say that, okay, I want to exercise, but आज time नहीं है, आज I'm too bored, आज बहुत बारिश आ रहा है, अच्छा Monday से तो definitely चालू करूँगा, अच्छा 1st of this month I am on the road, I am going to start, somehow बहुत कल रात को बहुत ज़्यादा late हो गया और I was not able to sleep. So a lot of us just delay exercise for various reasons. Okay, but I think the biggest takeaway from today's session, after hearing a fantastic address from Shilpa and all the points that Shuprabha has also mentioned, is that we put all this into action. So make sure that after this session, your shoes, your walking shoes, or your yoga mats are right in place, right? So when we look at physical fitness, there are two types of fitness. One is the health related fitness and one is the skill related fitness. Okay. So when we say health related, we are looking at, some of the benefits, like it should be good for the heart. So the cardiovascular endurance, जो हमारा muscle strength है, ये improve हो, the body composition improve हो, muscle का जो endurance power है, ये improve हो, and flexibility definitely should be high. So I'm going to make this lecture simple because Ketan sir has also said that we have a lot of mixed audience. So I'm going to take it both in Hindi and English. तो जैसे हम बॉडी का जो ability है, इसके बारे में यदि हम बात करें, तो there are different types of cardiovascular exercise. Okay. The moderate intensity could be, you can just begin with a small brisk walk. अगर कोविड के टाइम पे बहुत टाइम से हम बाहर नहीं निकले हैं, तो begin with small steps at home. Something as simple as walk for 5 minutes every hour. Okay, and so only 5 minutes every hour. So if the clock strikes 4, get up, walk around your house, come back if you're working from home. So in that way, if you are awake for 14 hours, we have walked almost for 2.5 hours. Okay. If somebody can still scale that activity up, cycling may be a good idea. Vigorous activity for a lot of young people, swimming, biking, all of these can be extremely good activities to continue. Right? Then when we look at muscle strength, okay, this would be all the muscular strength which we apply on various groups of the muscle. So something like lifting weights, we needn't go always to the gym. हमेशा जिम में जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. अगर हम घर पे भी, if we are picking up our shopping bags or working at home, especially women, and we have a lot of mothers watching this also. तो अगर आप किचन में अगर आप हो, and if you're just lifting your dabbas and bringing it, do it in the correct posture, and that itself is muscular strength activities. Also sit-ups, squats, push-ups for young people who you can almost build a brilliant core, and all of these exercises can help a lot. When we look at muscular endurance, we are looking at swimming, cycling, running, and all of these should be done. Now, if you say that, okay, the pools are not functioning right now, I agree. But cycling can be done at home. You can also lie down and do the cycling. When you're talking about running, today a lot of open parks are opening. If not, you can also do on-the-spot running. So all of these are very possible. I think a lot of questions to Shilpa also were regarding men, women, muscle, fat. And if you look at the very basic body composition of males and females, the males have far more higher muscles. The female body was made to have or to do a more childbearing activity. So females में जो fat है ये ज़्यादा है, males में muscle ज़्यादा है. However, over a period of time, through Shilpa's talk, she also spoke about a lot about proteins. And I think building on proteins means building upon the muscle mass, and better muscle today we know is better immunity, better protection, better BMR. And so overall हमारा जब body composition improve होता है, तो ये काफी help करता है. यहाँ पे हम bone भी देख रहे हैं. So exercise, one, improves the muscle. Second, reduces the body fat, जो us as Indians today are also called the thin fat Indians. Means even if you are very thin, and like Shilpa rightly spoke about earlier, अगर बहुत सारे लोग पतले भी हैं, पर इनमें body fat बहुत ज़्यादा high है. तो हमारी कोशिश यही होनी चाहिए कि हम muscle increase करें, fat lower करें, and जो bone mass है ये stronger करें. So for a lot of our young students who look up to Virat Kohli or Ronaldo, you must understand that both of them have a body fat percentage of 8, and they work out extremely hard, and they concentrate on their diet to keep their body composition optimum. The next one is flexibility. Flexibilities, because we have a lot of parents also here and grandparents who are also watching. एक चीज है कि अगर हमने बॉडी को मूव नहीं किया, हमने हमारी फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी, हमारी एजिलिटी जो है इसको इम्प्रूव नहीं की, तो ये एक बंद खिड़की के जैसे हो जाता है कि बहुत सालों से अगर खिड़की नहीं खुली है तो वो खिड़की जैम हो जाती है और फिर एक दिन आप जब खोलते हो तो ये कड़क करके टूट जाती है। इसीलिए हमारा बॉडी जो है इसको फ्लेक्सिबल always रखना चाहिए। use yoga, use a lot of flexibility exercises, and all of this will really improve. अब many a times जब exercise का नाम आता है तो लोग बहुत बोर हो जाते हैं, बोलते नहीं मैम मतलब बहुत बोरिंग है, ये थोड़ा भी अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है। So then I say okay, so what do you like? So they say ma'am we like to dance, we like to do other skill related things. So that's where your skill related fitness comes in. So these are components or movements that are necessary for individual to successfully demonstrate a variety of motor skills and movement patterns. So karate ho gaya ya dance ho gaya ya zumba ho gaya, whichever form you want, you can look at the skill related components. So all of these will be based on your reaction time. So if you're playing football or you're playing cricket, your reaction time is important. Speed again is important for whatever sport or game that you're playing. Agility, balance again, if you're looking at dance or you're looking at a sport, both of them, they are very important. Also power, हमारे हाथों में या हमारे पैरों में, या अगर कोई सिंपल फुटबॉल खेल रहा है तो ये जब किक मारता है तो इसके पैरों में कितना पावर है, all of these are very important. Also hand, eye, foot coordination, all of these are important, and you will realize that as we age, okay, these exercises or these activities are not only for the young people, because as we age, and even Samida ma'am was talking about the elderly today, all hand, eye, foot movements, all in coordination are very important. तब बैलेंस की भी जरूरत होती है, क्योंकि अगर बैलेंस हट जाता है तो फॉल्स हो जाते हैं, फॉल होते हैं तो फ्रैक्चर होता है, और एक बार फ्रैक्चर हुआ तो ये पूरा ऑलमोस्ट डाउन लाइन हो जाता है फॉर अ पर्सन टू कम बैक. तो all of these are also very important, not only in a young age, but as they start becoming more and more important as we grow older as well. Okay? So when we look at these here, I have put some very positive images for all of you all to just get motivated and get on track. So the amount of time between the stimulus and the reaction when we see is called the reaction time. Okay? And people with good reaction time can use the start quickly, especially in track, field and track sports or swimming or ping pong or karate, and they can do really well. So that all of you all can identify your strengths here. Speed, again, very important. We've seen India doing beautifully well in this year's Olympic in spite of all the odds. So when we speak about speed, it means to cover a distance in the short amount of time. Okay? And evaluate your own speed. ये पहले difficult लगेगा. I mean, if you are just beginning exercise, of course, you can't take a 10 kilometer or a 21 kilometer run. But at least if you begin today, and we are in September and it's a good month, we're talking nutrition month, that in Jan, I will run the Mumbai Marathon. So begin training from now. Begin with your 4 or 5 kilometers walk, then slowly increase your walk to a run, and then train yourself so that by Jan, your body is well trained so that you run for the Mumbai Marathon. And at every point of time, we look at also how we can increase our speed, right? So yes, also when we look at the other factors, we look at agility. So agility is how quickly we can change directions. Okay, so that again is very important. I also work with the Indian Navy and the armed forces, so I deal with a lot of international level gymnasts, boxers, footballers. As my profession, I'm also a trained yoga teacher, and agility is a very important thing because it's your mind and your body coordination and how quickly one moves from one position to another. It is also directly related to cognitive scope. we did a very beautiful research, which was also published, which shows that better agility is better scores in maths, in science, in logic, and all of them have a direct correlation. Then is balance. I think balance is a very important thing today. A lot of people are surely losing balance. So, khud ka, whether it is by way of doing a yoga asana or doing skating or surfing, balance is keeping your posture upright, and maintaining a balance can be very impactful, especially even again elderly. The balance हट जाता है, and even normal people also can check their balance. जैसे one of the most easiest tips is जब आप अपने shoes या घर पे जो चप्पल पहनते हैं उसको आप देख लीजिए. अगर ये चप्पल एक साइड से घिस रहा है या ये पूरा shoes एक साइड से टेढ़ा हो गया, which means that your legs are not aligned, and so your risk of falling are much higher. So when next time when you're meeting your physical therapist or your coach, you need to bring these things to their attention, because slowly and steadily the balance can go and one can suffer majorly. ये balance जो है इसको correct कर सकते हैं हम, right? Power, okay, and again power, we've had a Indian gold, and it's your own ability to see how rapidly we can pace. Right? So footballers, swimmers, shot put players, all of them do very well as far as power is concerned. Coordination, hand, eye, foot coordination, all of them very important in almost every sport, especially the team sports. Okay? Strength training. Up, मैंने दो types of pictures लगाए हैं. Whenever we think about strength training, don't always think of so much dumbbells. Because most of the time when we think about strength, we always think about dumbbells and we say, "Acha, this is not for me." Okay. When we think about strength training or resistance training, it can be your own body weight. हमारा जो खुद का body weight है 50 kilos या 60 kilos. When we do exercises like this, we are also using our own body weight. Shilpa very beautifully spoke about carbohydrates, diabetes, metabolic problems in our country. One of the reasons, besides excess carbohydrate and low protein, is lack of muscle training. Okay, and because we don't do weight bearing exercises, weight bearing can be our own body weight as well, we suffer tremendously because of all these problems. Right? So higher the muscle, better the insulin sensitivity, lesser the insulin resistance. Right? Okay. Strength training also improves greatly the bone strength. So only eating calcium or taking vitamin D doesn't help. You have to do weight bearing exercises to increase your bone strength. You also, even the moment you do weight training, it's not only the weight. Today, when people come to our clinic, we don't only check the weight. We also check the entire muscle mass. So what we do is something called a body impedance analysis, where we check their muscle, their fat. So even if the weight remains the same, however, he's converted his fat has gone down and his muscle has come up, which means the person has moved to better fitness. So it improves strength, it improves it. The moment you gain muscle, हमको ये भी पता चलता है कि inch loss बहुत हुआ है. तो weighing scale शायद same लगे. So if you were 60 kilos and you were trying to lose some weight, after 2 months, probably the scale is still showing 58 kilos. You just lost 2 kilos and you're not so happy. However, when we do the report again, we see that you've actually gained muscle and you've lost inches. And that itself is a very good change. So weight always is not a determinant, but better muscle health is a determinant. Also, when you gain strength, the entire quality of your life improves, especially for the elderly. Risk of falls also can be much lesser. Also, chronic management like back pain, obesity, बहुत सारे लोगों को uric acid के problems थे, cholesterol reduction. Even depression and diabetes can be sorted by regular weight training. So all of these are very important in a lot of skills, just not for very young people, but for everybody as well. And like I said, strength training actually helps in improving the thinking skills as well, along with the aerobic exercise. So for those who are very fitness enthusiasts, and I know a lot of students, in COVID times, we've had like 2 categories actually. एक जो बहुत ही ज्यादा लेजी हो गए और पूरा दिन टीवी देखते और बोल में लेके खाते रहते हैं, नेटफ्लिक्स, प्राइम और जितने भी चैनल्स है ये देखते हैं. There are some young people who have actually beautifully taken on to fitness, and they swear that they can get much fitter. So fitness, these are different kinds of exercises which you can perform in the gym as well. I have just put some examples for the young people. You can do squats with or without weights. You can do these push-ups or with your own body weight. Okay, you can use these different equipments. You can use these dips which help in better arm strengthening and glute strengthening. Okay, you can do step-ups. This is little weight. I'm also a trained yoga instructor, and so many a times, when we may not have these big weights at home, and this is especially for all the women who are there. What you can use are 2 bottles like these, and you can just do your exercises with simple water bottles. So पहले दिन आप इसको आधा fill करिए. As you get used to it, fill it completely, and as you go ahead, you can use bigger bottles. Eventually, once you get used to it, you can invest in some weights which you can tie around your arms, around your weights. And these are very good exercises which one can do every day, right? Some of the cardio exercises which are available in a gym format would be a treadmill, would be a rowing machine, would be an elliptical. If you don't have access to the gym, simple climbing of stairs will do the needful. Rowing के लिए हम simple we can just replicate this movement even sitting on the floor. Okay, treadmill, walk on the spot if you don't have these equipments. Now, how are these exercises important? Okay, by definition, when we look at cardio exercises, it means these are aerobic exercises, which means it requires the oxygen. Okay, and activity that uses the aerobic metabolism. So a lot of questions around weight loss were there, green tea. And we also discussed earlier that weight loss may not happen. So move your hips and seal your lips is a simple formula. So you have to move your hips. You have to do the movement, right? And with cardio exercises, हमारा breathing जो है ये और heart rate दोनों जो है change होते हैं, and we see that eventually people who do better regular cardio exercises with a weight loss of at least something as simple as 2 kilos, their blood sugar levels come down, their blood pressure comes down, the person starts feeling much better. Those who are feeling breathless, or many a times people with high weight are, when they are climbing up the stairs, they are almost panting like this. The moment even a little weight comes down, the weight loss goals becomes much better. And this is a small tip for everyone, that I don't say that I need to lose 20 kilos on day 1. I only make small, very achievable goals. And a realistic, qualified dietitian and a good coach will help you achieve that. You don't aim for 20 kilos in 1 month. It is not possible. You didn't gain 20 kilos in 1 month, so you won't lose 20 kilos in 1 month, right? But what is possible is 2.5, 3 kilos a month is a good weight loss. In 6 months' time, even if you're looking at 2.5 kilos or 2 kilos, in 6 months' time, 12 kilos is significant weight loss. If somebody is very dedicated and looks at losing 3 kilos, 18 kgs in 6 months is very achievable. But एक चीज याद रखिए, weight loss के लिए once lost, that weight should not come back. Okay, if you are on a maintenance diet, maintenance is not only with the diet but also with the exercise. Right now, Other exercise of cardio exercise would be improved brain power, cardiovascular health. It helps in sleeping, and I think sleep, weight, this entire TV watching, modern lifestyle are huge problems today because we just don't sleep enough. And so when we're doing a lot of cardio exercises, our sleep also gets better. We sleep more deeper, we sleep more, and eventually that itself corrects our hormones and our metabolism. It also strengthens the immune system. Needless to say that, you know, there was this beautiful study which was called the ICMR in-depth study. And here in the study, we found that 92% of Indians actually don't do any exercise. And that is why when Pavaskar ma'am and Saima ma'am requested me to do this topic, I was very happy because it's for young people like y'all. If you all take up onto exercise and pursue it every day, we can actually put India off the diabetes capital to a much fitter India, right? And also it reduces asthma and the blood sugar levels. Now, some of the exercises which we can definitely do at home would be the high knee jogs, okay? For women, you can use the table and you can start walking on the spot if you don't want to jog. Okay, brisk walking could be like 100 steps per minute, or that itself is also fine. If you have your building terrace or your garden, you can definitely look at. Some of the safer spaces in Mumbai, we say, is walk on the skywalks because they don't have any potholes and they could be good spaces to walk on. Swimming, excellent exercise. I know pools are not yet open. However, even for the elderly, when you are looking at doing exercises in water, बहुत सारे लोगों का knee pain होता है, back pain होता है. When you walk in water, the buoyancy of the water takes care of the weight. तो ये बहुत ही powerful exercise होता है. You can do lot more flexibility exercises in water. और आप देखोगे कि नॉर्मली आपका हाथ या पैर बिल्कुल से मूव नहीं हो रहा था, इसका रेंज ऑफ मोशन बहुत कम था, पर पानी में जो है इसका रेंज अच्छे से हो जाता है एंड यू कैन अचीव अ लॉट. सो इवन फॉर द एल्डरली, स्विमिंग और वॉक aquatic exercises can be very, very helpful. Also, whenever we are looking at exercise, dancing can be a lot more fun. In fact, there is a doctor in Chennai, Dr. Mohan and his entire group. They have done a lot of work around high intensity exercise, and they've converted these high intensity exercises into dance formats. And dance can be so much fun, right? Because there is music, there is aerobics, you're using a lot of large group of muscles, and you can burn almost 10 to 11 calories per minute. So it can be a complete workout, and especially if you do it in a group exercises can always be fun. So especially when you're looking at weight loss, it may be a good idea to always join a group exercise rather than doing it singularly, because सब आपके साथ कर रहे हैं, so that motivation is much higher. Cycling again can be done, rowing again can be done. Climbing stairs, the most easiest form. Okay, don't use the elevator. Jahan possible hai, make sure that you're walking up. Okay, even in a day, if you're living on the second floor and if you're climbing down 3 or 4 times, you've finished around 8 floors, which is a good amount of steps. Okay, but these burpees are only for my very, very young fitness champs who are into fitness every day. Don't use it as a startup, but that is something what you can achieve over a period of time. Okay, so how much exercise to perform? So when we're looking at least minimum of 30 minutes, 3 times a week, to guarantee that at least जो आपका aerobic capacity है in around 8 to 12 weeks, okay, in 2 to 4 months, it will greatly improve and you will start feeling much better. Okay. Now, other things which affect exercise would be your diet and nutrition. Your rest, recovery and refuel. Means exercise चाहिए तो उसके साथ diet भी सही होना चाहिए, हमको enough recovery time भी देना चाहिए, so that the body does not end up into injuries, okay, and refuel. So foods to eat during the exercise, before the exercise, post exercise, all of these are also important. If there is not good nutrition, it may lead to a lot of soreness or pain. It may also lead to micronutrient deficiency. और बहुत सारे लोग जो who go on these very internet downloaded plans, they may not eat anything, they may start exercising excessively, may also land up into a lot of micronutrients. Thereby hair loss ho jata hai, skin starts looking really bad and saggy, you start looking sick instead of looking fit. So one thing is that when you are losing weight, okay, on a good plan, which is planned by a good dietitian who is a qualified dietitian, your skin will go, your hair will be looking good, you will start losing inches and your body will look firm. If you followed a very crash diet, the skin will start looking crumbly and you will start looking old, much older, and the skin will start saggy. So that is not correct exercise and correct weight loss. And you should not run into any infections when you are starting a proper diet and exercise program. So are the physical needs same for every sport, every activity, every age? No. Based on what your activity is, your calories will change accordingly. So if you are a young person who's playing cricket, your requirements may be 15 to 30 calories. Whereas if you're an Olympic gymnast or you're into dancing, you may want to keep your body weight slightly lighter. So the calories may vary accordingly. So different sports based on the heart rate, the blood pressure, the cardiac output, the volume of training, means how much you are training, all of them will require different amount of nutrition. Okay, so when we look at some of the goals, it would be either power or strength or hypertrophy of the muscle, which even I think there were some questions in the chat box also, that the many people, and especially those who had questions around, I am not able to gain weight. I think the correct answer for you is also doing a little bit of resistance training or strength training, which may help in increasing the muscle or the hypertrophy of the muscle, and thereby you will gain muscle mass instead of the fat, and that may be a good thing for you, right? So based on what stage you are, whether you are at a preparatory stage or a competitive stage, or you are just in transition either from recovery or just joining the sport, the nutrition for each of them will vary. Okay, so there is a beautiful concept called periodization, which means based on your training and nutrition, one can plan on the entire system. So normally when we look at people who are exercising over a period of time or who want to get into competitive sports, or even young people who are just beginning today, we map the entire calendar. So जैसे मैंने पहले भी बताया कि we start looking at the January Mumbai Marathon, and we say that okay, in this month, because you are a beginner, we train this month, this is your nutrition, and over a period of time for the next 4 or 5 months, I map this with the diet, with the kind of festivals I have, with the kind of training plans I have, and so I'm able to periodize the entire plan for this person. Okay, also during training, fluids and exercises are extremely important, and these would be dependent on the type of exercise. Electrolytes definitely should be given, and also the sweat rate. हम सबने मिल्खा सिंह की थी, we saw Farhan Akhtar kind of squeezing his sweat almost into the bucket, and we realized that was a lot of sweat. Okay, so drinking fluids and electrolyte replacement, both of them are very important. Okay, also it helps to maintain the blood sugars and prevent any hypoglycemia, and it also prevents the lactic acid buildup. So some of the pre-workout foods good pre-workout foods may be banana, it could be your berries, grapes or oranges, which can easily help you fuel up better. Also nuts are great foods because these are small, and many a times people can't eat a large meal, others they feel like throwing up. So when you're eating nuts, like Shilpa explained, these are healthy fats and these are small. So it gives you the energy. It doesn't leave you into a low sugar level. However, you are comfortable because your gut is not feeling very queasy with the nuts. Okay. Carbohydrates can be used. There is a calculation for it. So if there is if your exercise is less than an hour, then just one banana or a normal fruit would do. If your exercise is long, for more than 2 hours, then proper planning needs to be done. If you're looking at running a marathon, then we also need to do some carb loading at least 3 to 4 days before the main plan. Okay, proteins, I think enough has been spoken. However, more in concern with the exercise is that protein gives you the better anabolic response, which means the muscle grows better. There's improved muscle recovery. There's increased strength, and the lean body mass of the body increases. And overall, there is a carb to protein ratio for people who are exercising. So whether it is 2:1 or 3:1, depending on the kind of exercise one does, the protein ratio normally varies. Fat, again, lot of research has been shown that while glycogen is used for short-term energy. So when we are talking about glycogen is often stored in the muscle and in the liver. But when we're looking at long-term exercise or high-intensity exercise, then fat becomes that source of fuel for longer and moderate intensity exercises. So eating healthy fats which come from your nuts, from your seeds, from your fish, avocados, all of these could be eaten. Also, eggs can be eaten, egg whites can be eaten. One yellow is allowed. So all of these could be eaten on a regular basis. So some just simple conversions for all of you at a household level. Sandwich or a whole grain bread with a lean protein, and aside an egg omelette with a toast or avocado. Lean protein could be your brown rice or roasted vegetables. If you are a fish eater, probably save all the proteins for the later part of the day. Okay. If your workout starts within 2 hours, a smoothie can be made with milk or your protein powder or bananas or mixed berries. Whole grain cereal on milk can be had. Natural peanut butter or almond butter can be spread over a roti or a toast, and those can be had. If the workout is just about to start, probably yogurt and a fruit can be had. So all of these are great examples. During the meal, drink enough water. Okay. If the exercise lasts for longer time, then it's very important that you also consume some simple carbs to keep up the glycogen level. Okay. These are small ways on, how carbohydrates. So if it is below 30 minutes, no carbohydrate is required. However, if as it goes up, then you require carbohydrates almost 60 grams per hour for better utilization. Okay. When we look at post-workout meals, what is the intent? The intent is that any exercise, while all exercise is good, exercise does create a damage. Okay. So it is important that we take enough carbohydrates so that the muscle starts to replenish and there is no injury. And if you have to, the better the recovery, next day faster the your appearance at whatever your exercise plan is. Nahi to itna pain yahan wahan hoga ki next day you will not be able to exercise. And that is why many people who do weight training, some days they do upper body, then they do the core, then they do the lower body. They don't do the same body parts. They let the previous body part rest and recover, and you move on to another one. So in that way, if you use a cyclic plan, glycemic would be your chia seeds, crackers, fruits, almost all the fruits. So eat your rainbow is very important. Shilpa also spoke about the dietary diversity. And today we almost say that eat 30 different kinds of fruits and vegetables a day. And if you've not eaten your 400 grams of vegetables, you really need to recheck yourself. So 1 or 2 low glycemic index fruits, and make sure that your bhaji, jo vegetable ka quantity hai, ye almost 400 grams per day ho. Okay, proteins in all forms is good and should be eaten. If you are a vegetarian, concentrate on your dal, your pulses, your nuts, your seeds. Okay, look at complementing the proteins, which means proteins को cereals के साथ खाएंगे तो इसका amino acid composition जो है ये better हो जाता है. Healthy fats again, flax seeds again are a great source of omega-3 and should be eaten. Look at our own integral kitchen pharmacy, be it your spices, all of them heal. Right from turmeric, which has now got gone across the world, and we have the golden latte, and people use it as functional foods everywhere. I think Indian spices have a lot of power, and we can, really use it as a pharmacy. Okay. So how long should we exercise? I think, like we see, we have to exercise for the rest of the life. And I think we have to, many a times when we have old, slightly middle-aged or elderly people coming in, they'll say, ma'am, walking shoes पहनेंगे साड़ी के ऊपर तो अच्छा नहीं दिखता. I said, पर गिरने से अच्छा है. And then they say, अच्छा चलो ठीक है हम पहनेंगे. And eventually, as the elderly start taking up on exercise, I think that's the best way. One of the reasons why, some of our forefathers were so fit even when they were older was they continued the activity. Today, after retirement, most people, whilst they give up on work, they also give up on physical work. And that is not such a nice thing, because once you are indoors and don't do anything, it is straight away deterioration of your entire health. Okay, so these are some of the exercises you could do. Team sports would be great. Zumba, dancing, at least 30 minutes, 5 times a day should be done. The most easiest way is, today we have a lot of gadgets like the Fitbit or your phones where you can calculate your footsteps. So aim for a minimum of 10,000 feet. Steps per day, or around 6 to 7 kilometers every day should be your target. So begin small. If you are starting from tomorrow, which I hope all of you all do, okay, start small, but eventually you can build it up. So pehle hi din mein, don't tire yourself. If you are able to do even 2 kilometers the first day, no problem. Continue the 2 kilometers for a week. Next week, you look at 2.5 kilometers. After that week, you look at 3 kilometers. After that week, you look at 3.5 kilometers. In 2 months' time also, if you are able to achieve 6 or 7 kilometers, that is great, So if you're beginning today, don't slow down. For those who are already exercising, it is important that you step up this exercise. Because exercise के साथ क्या होता है कि एक बार आप regularly इसको करते हैं, so the body gets used to it. So now you have to progressively give it more and let it adapt. The moment it's adapted, then again you add some load to it. So you can always progress in your exercise. जब पहले दिन exercise चालू किया तो बहुत effort लगा, पर 2 महीने के बाद वो normal लगने लगता है. तब इसको आप थोड़ा सा और step up कर लीजिए. Okay. Exercise for the elderly, very important. Balance, gait, thinking. Today, a lot of challenges like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's also can be reduced just by simple exercising. Because when you are repeating this motion again and again, the motion in the muscle becomes a memory. And so it helps a lot in all these patients. Also, we have plenty of studies in Alzheimer's and Parkinson that regular access actually either delays the condition or helps to maintain its status quo. Even balance, gait are very important because fall should not come. For women especially, weight bearing exercise is very important because till menopause, at least the calcium takes care. After that, it's only the weight bearing exercises which will help you keep in good form. Okay. Typical problem, how do I include exercise in my daily life? So make sure that you use the steps instead of the elevators. walk the steps wherever possible. Agar pani chahiye to don't ask your servant or your child to bring it. Even smaller exercise, which is called the non-exercise activity thermogenesis, even smaller steps help a lot. So chota chota karke bhi bahut bada exercise ho jata. If your workplace is closer or your market is closer, walk it every day. Even if you carry the 2 bags of fruits and vegetables when you're coming, that's a little bit of weight training and a little bit of cardio exercise as well. You don't always have to spend money to go to the gym. Okay. Some of you all who are working from home, and especially these days we are all working, make sure that you do some chair exercises also. Give yourself a nice stretch. I am also a trained yoga teacher along with a fitness enthusiast. And so I think when we talk about integral yoga, we talk about this whole mind and body experience. And aapke college prayer mein you summed it up so beautifully, and that exactly is the ethos of yoga. Yoga actually means a way of life. So when we look at the health benefits of yoga, it could be all of these, right from stretching your spine to keeping your muscles strong, to increasing blood flow, to helping you sleep well, to relieving you from depression, making you feel relaxed, happier, okay, better flexibility, better body strength, and more importantly, a positive outlook towards life is very important. So also improved body posture, okay, improved core strength, stronger lungs. Today, I think after the pandemic, everybody has realized that we need to have better strength, better concentration, and eliminate the stress. Okay. So some of the simple exercises which one could undertake at home level would be the Surya Namaskar. It's a 12-step exercise. For beginners, go slow, use it under a trained person. For youngsters, you have a lot of good videos from trained coaches. You can start using that. Even something as simple as Matsyasana will actually help in relieving the entire back area, and you will start feeling a lot of reduction in the mental stress. Kapalbhati is a breathing exercise, brilliant exercise. It is forceful, rapid exhalations, okay, and which help a lot. Today, when we look at alternative nostril breathing or Anulom Vilom, brilliant, because simple inhalation, exhalation will actually help you do the trick. It balances the body completely. Brahmari Pranayam, in COVID era, one of the best pranayams which also have known to not only help you relax, reduce depression and anxiety, improve memory, but also improve immunity. It has been widely advocated by the Department of Ayush as well. Okay, Padmasana, simple exercise, stretches the entire lower limbs and can a brilliant pose. You can back it up with also your hand exercises and stretch it up so that you get a complete body stretch. Yoga Nidra, again, very brilliant exercise, especially because sleep circadian rhythms for most people are very challenged. Students find it very difficult, especially during exam time, to sleep. So it is said that even if you do around 7 to 8 minutes of proper shavasana, it may be equivalent to almost around 6 hours of sleep. I'm not saying don't sleep, but you can, on days when you are very tired or very exhilarated and too many things on your mind, do a shavasana first and then you go to sleep. That will completely relax your entire body and you will feel much better. Vrikshasana or Ekpadasana, many times, you sit in front of your books or ek hi page pe dimag atak jata hai. You are not able to move forward. When you do an asana like the Ekpadasana or the Vrikshasana, what it does is it brings all the concentration and the focus in that point. When you're doing the asana, take a point of focus in front of you and focus on that point. If you are wobbling a lot, which means there are many thoughts, but stay there. Okay. The stillness, the one-pointedness helps you to concentrate better. And immediately after investment of this 3 or 4 minutes in doing this asana, you will be able to see that the remaining pages move really fast for you. Okay. Vajrasana, brilliant asana after food. Okay. This is Haspadangasana, hands to feet, and it stretches the entire body right from your glutes to your spine to your hamstrings. And again, very, very good. The Sarvangasana should be done under training. Especially those who have the spine issue should be careful. Again, because it's an inverted pose, it's a brilliant asana for everyone because it helps in better intellectual power, better backflow, blood, and very, very good asana. Simple meditation, ma chanting, om chanting helps because there are sound waves which completely change the ball game. Okay, 1 or 2 minutes, probably we can take this om chanting as at the end of this session. Okay, but with that, there are a lot of questions about Ayurveda and Sattvic diet also. So I put these slides actually while Shilpa was talking. Is that each of us have different personalities. Okay, the Rajas, the Sattva, the Tamas, that is the dull mind, the energetic mind, the calm and clear mind. These are all phases of us. Okay, sometimes we are in a very clear and calm mind. Sometimes we are a very energetic mind. Sometimes we are a very dull mind. Our aim is to be in the Sattva most of the times. Okay, so food directly has an impact because when we're looking at Tamas and Rajas, okay, and like we've spoken earlier as well, that too much of alcohol, too much of spicy food, too much of caffeine, tobacco, they all stimulate too much of over-processed foods, very refined foods, okay, foods which are very high in salt, sugar, and fat. All of these create the gunas of the Tamas and the Rajas, and these should be avoided. In fact, foods which are fresh, whole, and today we speak about plant-based foods, we talk about fresh foods, organic foods, fiber-rich foods, eat your rainbow, so many colors to it, homemade, okay, ghar ka khana. These are all terms which we are using, and it takes us back to our original age-old practice of eating a Sattvic diet. Also, you should understand that the food that we eat, okay, has actually 5 layers. So the first layer, the most outermost layer is the Annamaya Kosha, which is the food. And so it is the food that you give the body. It feeds the prana, which is your second layer, your energy layer, your mind, your intelligence, and finally it determines your happiness quotient. So what you feed your body is very, very important because it eventually transcends down to almost every layer of your body, right? And we all know this good old wisdom called Anna Brahma, which means food is God, okay? And like Samhita ma'am also said that we need to eat according to the Ritu, according to the seasons. Today we try to eat all foods out of season, and that is also one of the reasons why there is so much of things. We try to eat mangoes in November, December, when it is a summer food. We try to eat watermelons across the year when it is actually supposed to be a summer food. So choosing foods according to the season again is also very important. Okay, so if you choose your diet regime, okay, based on the seasons, it actually helps a lot because it also kind of helps you in training your entire personality. Also, dinacharya, which means daily routine, and I heard this question on Ayurveda. So it is not only about the food, okay, it is not only about the ahar or the meat ahar, it's also the activity, the behavior, okay, your everyday achar, what you do. And Ayurveda has clear guidelines on everything, on time to wake up, time to sleep, how to brush your teeth, how to clean your tongue, oil nasal drops, or the kind of water you should have, how you should actually wash your hands, do oil pulling, body massage, face wash, inhaling of medicated fumes. So it is, when we talk about following a diet based on the Ayurvedic plan, it's not only the principles, but you have to take into account all this entire routine. Only then that is what completes the entire process. Okay. Again, organoleptic properties of food make a lot of difference. And, you know, a lot of taste is based on our personalities. So whether it, you know, your preferences for sweet food or pungent food, all of these would be based on the Panch Tattva which we have, right? And today I put this slide very, you know, deliberately, because we are cooking less and less at home. Everything we control at the mobile. The Zomatos, the Swiggies, the Pandas have overtaken our lives. The meals that we cook are becoming lesser and lesser. And the activity, or that little activity which we used to do to make the food also is gone away. Okay. And so we are ordering more sinful carbs. Earlier, there were not so many pastry shops or sweet meats around. Meetha kabhi kabar milta tha. Birthday cake was supposed to be every day. Today we have cookies, we have you know, muffins, cakes, and brownies at a drop of a hat. Today, the younger millennials work hard, party hard, sleep lesser, and eventually land up into all the metabolic problems faster. So let us reverse all of this. Let's just start taking exercise regularly. Let's look at, you know, poor fiber is also equivalent to gut dysbiosis. The people are becoming more and more experimental with food and going further down from their traditional foods. I'm not saying that you should not be experimental, but don't throw out the entire traditional goodness of Indian foods, because we have a lot of goodness in our food. And eat mindfully. Okay. There was also a question in the chat box on eating 80% of the food, and yes, that is very true. That's actually called a Japanese philosophy, which means hara hachibu, which means eat only around 80%, leave the 20%. The Japanese actually eat restrictively, so they eat only 80% of the requirement. 20% is for the gases, for the digestion. And because they eat slightly lesser, you know that islands like Okinawa today are called the blue zones, which have longest longevity. So they have people over there, the youngest person is around 100 to 120 years old, and a 100-year-old actually looks like a 40-year-old in Mumbai. Yeah, that is because they eat mindfully. So every time, this is also my last slide, that every time when you're eating, just pause and ask, why am I eating? What do I want to eat? What should I eat? How do I eat? How much should I be eating? Where do I have to invest this energy, and how do I start exercising and expelling this energy? Only if we become a little more mindful of the way we eat and the way we exercise, I think life can become far more simpler and far more easier. Yoga also speaks about the attitude and gratitude of food. So, you know, I spoke about the Zomato and the Swiggy, but here in the yogi concept, it says let the place of eating be as close to where the kitchen is. So, jahan pe bana hai garam garam khana, wahi se khao. Okay, it should be eaten with suitable accessories such as plates, cutlery. So, all of this was taught in the traditional wisdom. I'm sorry, this slide has got a little jumbled. Don't eat too fast. Don't keep swallowing the food. Okay. Avoid talking. In fact, in our yoga institute at Santa Cruz, in the mess of the canteen, we are actually not allowed to talk at all. So they say that our relation with food is a very sacred one, and you treat food as prasad, okay, as a very holy thing. And the maker of the food is as equivalent to, is also very important. So even for a lot of homemakers who are making food, okay, if you cook in a happier state of mind, that happy energy with your hands gets transformed into the food, okay, and that food becomes much more sacred. That is why whenever you eat a prasad or you go to a holy place, the energy of the place, that little prasad always tastes so good. Okay, avoid too much of talking, avoid too much of gulping down too much food. In fact, gluttony is also considered as one of the 7 cardinal sins. So overeating and eating too fast both should be avoided, and eat in complete awareness, right? So with that, thank you so much. And I have a small recipe for happiness for all of you all. It says 2 heap cups of patience, 1 heart full of love, 2 hands full of generosity, 1 head full of understanding. Mix all the ingredients well, sprinkle generosity and kindness, add faith and mix well, add a dash of laughter and spread it to everyone over a period of time. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, madam. Any questions? We can have questions.
Thank you very much, Nazneen ma'am. And we can have some questions from the audience. We can take only few questions now because it's already past 4:30, and the rest we can definitely continue in the Google Classroom. And yes, many of the viewers are requesting for the PPT to be shared. So Nazneen ma'am, if you are okay with it and if you can share it with us, we can share it with them. And I have requested even Shilpa madam to do that, so that we are going to create a Google Classroom and we can just share your contact number, contact details and your PPT with them.
I'll be happy to share my slides.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Any questions?
I think I've left them with a lot of challenge of, getting dressed and getting to move. So everybody is still thinking, but I'm sure all of you all will be able to, gear up from tomorrow and be motivated enough to kind of.
Yeah, definitely. And I request all of you to please fill the feedback form before you leave, so that we can create a Google Classroom with that, your registration and your feedback form. With your feedback, you will also get your e-certificate directly for your attendance today. There are some questions I can see. Ketan sir, if you can read it out for us.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the first question was how to prevent from sagging arms.
Okay,
and the importance of skipping.
Yeah, so skipping for younger people definitely can be a great exercise, especially during the lockdown right now when we have very little means. Skipping can actually keep up your agility. It's a great way for mind, motor, body balance. So, however, if you have weak knees or if you are overweight, avoid skipping as the first activity. So, if you have been doing skipping regularly, yes, you continue it. Okay. For the arms, use light weights. Okay, something as simple as Surya Namaskar or even doing planks. Okay, can help. Also, like I showed you, these water bottles also can be used and can be used as weights, just in case if you do not have weights at home. Okay, so all sets of exercises can be done with simple tools like that. So जो खाली घर पे pet bottles होता है, इसका आप इस्तेमाल कर सकते हो. You can invest in buying some small weights also from Amazon. They don't cost too much. Today you have flexibility belts also, which can be used, and all these exercises can be used for the arms as well as the legs, and it will improve, help you in reducing the fat and improve on building upon the muscle mass over there. Okay, there was also another question, I think, regarding the weight, and weight again varies, especially for young girls. A lot of it may be because of the hormones, etc. So shift on to a healthier diet and couple it with exercise. Like we've been speaking a lot even in Shilpa's session, and I've also emphasized, build up on your protein content. Let your first meal be protein rather than eating carbohydrate foods. and that will itself help you to control your hormones as well. Okay, and engage in regular exercise. Yeah. You don't have
Ma'am,
other
yeah.
questions?
There is one request which is coming, that will it be available, the recording on the YouTube? Yes, sir. We will be doing that. That is the reason we had we were streaming live on YouTube because of the number of participation. So you will get this on the YouTube, the recording also, and we will be sharing it in the Google Classroom. So I would urge to you all again and again that please do not leave without filling up the feedback form and the registration details, so that in future also we'll be sharing whatever our activities with you, and you can avail this to your advantage. Yes, Ketan sir, you were saying something.
Yes, ma'am. There is one question. What could be used as substitute other than BCAA for intra-workout? This is one
Okay.
question.
So you can use your nuts, you can use pulses. Okay, these are all natural sources of branched chain amino acids, especially the pulses are natural sources and can be used on a regular basis as well. So sprouts can be included, nuts can be included, your seeds can be included as natural branched chain amino acid substitutes.
Okay, ma'am.
Even a bowl of yogurt can be had, or a chas or a lassi can be had, if you don't want to buy a commercial branched chain amino acid supplement.
Ma'am, there is one more question. What should be the ideal training load for an intermediate athlete?
So that depends on what, it's a very, so not a very clear question, but based on the activity of the athlete and what exercise he is doing, the training load will be based on that.
Okay, ma'am, correct. Ma'am, there is one question. Ma'am, means I cannot reduce my weight beyond 55 kgs, especially arms and waist.
Yeah, I
Being a girl-
answered that actually. I answered that.
Correct. Ma'am, why should we have coffee as pre-workout drink?
So some studies have shown that caffeine can improve exercise performance. Okay. However, so there have been some suggested studies wherein caffeine actually improves better exercise performance, and so it is recommended. However, restricted to 3 or 4 cups, not beyond that, because again, too much of caffeine consumption also can shoot your BP too much.
Caffeine usually increases the adrenaline secretion, because it it keeps the cyclic AMP level very high. It by blocking the enzyme that degrades cyclic AMP. So caffeine is the one, Nazneen ma'am, that it keeps you. That's why usually people take coffee more than tea, especially if you want to remain awake for the late night studies, or some activity related. So that is why I think that is the relation between caffeine. It just keeps your cyclic AMP level very high, adrenaline level very high. So that keeps you awake. I mean, that's keep you more with the energy.
Right. Thank you so much, ma'am. What better from a biochemistry teacher? Thank you so much. Yeah. I really love this comment from Kavish. Actually, he says, thanks, ma'am, for the motivation. I keep averting my decision for a workout since 19th August. Even after paying for it, now I feel so much more motivated that I will start today. So I think thanks, Kavish, and I hope everybody feels the same, and that we all, before you sleep today, prepare for what you have to do tomorrow, and don't wait till Monday or 1st of the month. Time is now and time is today. So begin today.
Yeah.
Yes,
There is one thing I would like to comment. People are asking for a Google Classroom. I would like to explain that we are going to create a Google Classroom where since you have done the registration, your email ID will be there, your contact details will be there in that classroom. And it is not, I'm not talking about the classrooms which we have. We already have our own classrooms with our students. I am going to create a new classroom with the registration details of today. And hence that we will be sharing with everything on that. So it will remain there. Whenever you want, you can go for it and you can watch it or download whatever. Okay, so we will be doing that. Yeah, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Shobha. Yeah, she understood. Yeah, any more question or anything, or else we would close the session. Any other questions, or else
Yes, ma'am.
Ketan sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, on a parting note, I would just like to say that we've just lost a very young actor who was fit,
Yes,
very just day before. And it just goes to show that more and more younger people are succumbing to all these things. So it's not that whenever we talk about all these things, metabolic changes or exercise, it's like, okay, after I'm 35 or after I'm 40, I will start doing it. I think the time is now. And along with that, stress management and the way your mental health is, these are all important things which one needs to be really considered.
Ma'am, here I would like to add to you, because even I had come across somebody who was a trainer to all this film industry, and I met him just one day before. We were discussing how we will be taking up, he wanted to join me, and then we were supposed to do something in collaboration. And just one day afterwards, he quite healthy, means he was the trainer for the Bollywood stars, and he just was off. So what I would like to add to what you are saying is, and even I think Dr. Shilpa said, I would like to point from her talk that you have to, whenever you are taking any protein shakes, or whenever you are especially working on your muscles, and doing all this gym and all, that is definitely good, you go for it. I'm not saying no to it, but you always have to keep checking your creatinine level, because your biochemical parameters you cannot escape. And this is what is happening when you look, your body looks healthy, and you look healthy. That is something which is exterior. So I would like to always urge that once in a year at least you check the inside of your body also, and do the test. And that is the reason in Somaya I had started with giving some test for a very less price, the entire test, because usually people don't want to spend on that. They think that it's huge, 3-4 क्यों खर्चा करना है for the test, or nikla bhi kuch nahi nikla mujhe. So that is not that is not the concept. What is more important is, if I'm so keen on seeing my body each and every day in the mirror, don't I have to look inside and see what is there inside? Okay. Absolutely. And according to me, it's not the expenditure, but it is the investment. You check it, how your body is inside, and if it is okay, very good. I think that is worth your payment. So that is what even in Somaya, that is the reason we are giving this once in a year to all the parents and everybody. And since it is in bulk, and one of my friend who is having a big laboratory, he's put in his support also, and that is why we are able to give something, all the test package, which costs usually 4,000 to 5,000, in just 400 to 600 range, depending on what we are offering. So that people can do it. And I would recommend that you please keep on checking this intermittently, especially even if you are young, that's okay, but you should know what is the inside status of your body. So that is what, ma'am, I would wanted to add to your thing, that you look good, but you should look good from inside also. That is very important. So please keep a check on that.
I completely agree, ma'am. especially, you know, at the Navy and also in the airline industry, they have these regular health checkups. And it's amazing because in every 6 months or every 1 year, even young people as young as 18, they're checked, and a lot of diseases are caught there and they can be corrected at this point of time. Otherwise, you just completely live with it and you really don't know what is happening inside.
No, usually what is happening in India is that, you know, you try to tackle your body only at the end. When everything has been done, you have got the disorder, you have got the disease, and then we try to handle it. Instead of that, if you keep a check continuous, you will come to know कि मेरा ये कम हो रहा है, मेरा glucose बढ़ रहा है, you know, so that you will not allow it to happen. So if prevention is always better than cure. So that is what we are not practicing, I feel. So if we practice that, it would be the best. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Ketan sir?
Yes, ma'am. There are more 2-3 questions.
Yeah, we can take it quickly. Ketan, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Make it very quickly.
Yeah, they are asking, can excessive creatine be the cause of overconsumption of all these external supplements?
Yes, I think many a times, you know, the supplements which are given are by very over-enthusiastic trainers at the gym who don't really understand too much, you know, and they get huge cuts and commissions by these companies. Okay, so you need to be very careful. Consult a qualified dietitian or a qualified coach, and they will be able to determine what supplements you require. Do you really even require supplements? Are not required for everyone, not on a daily basis. Okay, unless and until you're really, you know, running or doing something for the Olympics, and that also, even over there, we have very strict guidelines. So avoid these if not required, or then see a consultant, a qualified dietitian or qualified coach, a doctor, do your tests, only then you start taking the supplements.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yeah, even I agree with what Nazneen said, because you know, these trainers are not, neither do they have any knowledge of biochemistry nor nutrition. I'm sorry, they might be having, but if they have, then they will not recommend all such things. Okay, so you have to, as Nazneen ma'am said, you have to just make sure that they have the knowledge, and the only way you can check is whether if they have the degree in biochemistry or nutrition, you know, related area, then definitely they will be having, because this is what we teach our students. So then they will be definitely having. If they don't have such degrees, then it is questionable. So you have to be very careful, because, you know, it's okay to remain with the normal bodies, but healthy bodies, rather than, you know, make, you know, good looking body, but inside it is all, you know, haywire with the metabolism. Because in biochemistry, we have 2 ages. The age of the body, which we see externally, that is the normal age which we referred. And there is something called metabolic age. And that is very important, how you are aged metabolically. And if you keep your fitness, as Nazneen ma'am and Shilpa ma'am has said, you keep your metabolic age, which is less. And then, you know, even if physical age will not matter much. But if your physical age is good, and if you're metabolically, if you're aged very high, you become old prematurely. That is what we say.
And that is what exactly what when we do the BI test also, it actually gives you a metabolic age, and, you know, it's a awakening point to a lot of people, you know, because it gives you a lot of objectivity also. There's also a question on fast acting protein. I think fast acting proteins could be your buttermilk, your curd, your egg whites. Okay, these are all natural forms. Lassi can be had post-workout, and these are natural foods which can be consumed post-workout as well.
Yeah, especially these protein powders and protein shakes and all that, you know, has messed up with the body a lot. And I have seen a lot of live example. And hence it's my urge. That is the reason, you know, Nazneen, I keep on doing all this awareness, because, you know, to get something which is very small. I have seen people losing their life at the earlier age, and the example you gave, it is very sad to lose a youngster like him at that particular age. But this is not the only one. We have come to know only because he is a famous and he was actor. But there are other people who are not so famous, but I have seen losing them. It is very sad, but it happens, and everybody can learn from somebody else's story. So that is what we will urge. And that is why I always keep on urging that this is, online platform which has given me the advantage this time to go to the masses, and we can share our knowledge. So all these nutritional experts and the doctors together, we all can, spread, join hands together and spread it among the masses so that all of us can benefit from it. Nazneen, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
My heartfelt thanks to you for coming, both you and Shilpa, and you really made our day today. Thank you so much on behalf of my entire team. And I also would like to thank all the participants, because they were so much enthusiastic. They are listening to all, and that shows that they really want to do something, and this is very important. And I always feel this importance of this word motivation. When we say motivated, it is not inspiration but motivation, because when I feel we are motivated means we will take action, because that is very important. If we are inspired and then sit doing nothing. But when we are motivated, we put that inspiration in the action, and that is very important, because unless you act on any particular thing, you will not get the results. Inspiration with no action, result is zero. So if you are inspired and then you put action, you are actually motivated. So Nazneen, you said people are getting motivated, and I'm very happy that, and let us keep going. We all can get motivated to do whatever we are aiming to do now. And I would definitely thank each and every person from the audience, my team members who supported me to do all this thing. I would also like to thank our IT team, without whom it wouldn't have been possible. So Kundu, thank you so much. Thanks to all my college colleagues, from principal madam to all those who have contributed to this seminar. So thank you all, every one of you. Thank you so much for being there today. Thank you. We will end this with our national anthem. So I request Kundu